show recording? Sweet. Alright, season 2, we're back. Ooh. Tommy's the new official co-host.
Hola! Again.
Yeah, and finally, our guest.
Legendary.
Talon and all that stuff. Everybody
my co-pilot. The one who tells me not to do things that I still do.
And you still do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every single time.
Oh, yeah.
She drove it out of the mud after we buried it.
Yeah. She gets credit for the rescue.
Yeah, she does.
Even though
Rescue.
Captain probably didn't.
She's
apparently a better driver.
I had help though. I did
Scott
have help.
and the Mitsubishi.
Yeah, from
Captain.
Footy in the team.
Oh, yeah. Jack.
Yeah.
He was coaching you on how to drive.
Yeah, and then you spent the next day and a half trying to fix it.
It was running on Sunday. He did get some trails in on the last
we
day.
did drive it home, too. So, I mean, it took, 4.5 hours for the...
And a couple brains.
Yeah, 4.5, 5 hours for
I
the
walked
normal
up and my
2-hour
input
trip.
was, there's a lot of mud in there.
Wait, what was it? Did you check the starter?
Yeah,
Did you check the starter?
Starter?
Wait,
starter?
did you check the starter?
Yeah.
I thought it was, did you check the fuel filter?
No, it was did you check the starter? Everyone was onto the starter, but...
And then you finally got a
Only Jack got
it.
onto the fact that the computer would run the car only if we unhooked the 202 sensors and the mass airflow sensor. So, I mean, whatever.
It's one of those
It runs
things that
it
should
runs.
work.
Shouldn't, but it did. Until we got to the junkyard and got a 2003 Kia Sorento V6 computer that ran us home on all the sensors working properly.
Kia
Not-
for the win.
the-
That's not something you hear
The
every day.
Hyundai, I mean, she wouldn't do 60 on the highway, and she overheated every 30 miles, but we're fixing it.
You mean the junkyard radiator you got doesn't work?
Oh, your junkyard radiator?
Yeah, my junkyard radiator.
That junkyard radiator needs a very good pressure washing. That junkyard radiator is just a sand trap right now.
See, my truck's the same.
Should have seen the one I took out of it.
That bad.
Oh, when the entire side cracked. Ooh, that's why they got replaced.
That sand was, I wasn't expecting that when I went up there. I mean, any two-wheel drive went up there, they all got buried, especially in the dunes at AIS. We're like, oh, let's go hit the dunes. They were like 10 feet in, and then they buried themselves.
I didn't even bother. I knew my fate in the Escort. I didn't even go drift too far up there.
Nick, we buried it, got pulled back 10 feet, and then when he hit the gas again, we buried it, so we had to get towed back out again.
So I know I pulled Nick out at least once or
Yep.
twice.
That was twice that day.
I took Wyatt Sands out on the sand dunes after the downhill race with the mini cars or whatever.
Yeah,
The Barbie
Tommy
Jeeps?
Mini
The whole
cricket,
three
yeah.
people that showed up for that.
Yeah. So.
That's because we weren't prepared enough. We needed more of a notification to everyone to find a Barbie Jeep.
I
They're not
found
easy to
mine
find.
on the way up.
Yeah.
We found ours the day before.
I saw it by the ditch.
Yours
I
was
did
an
a
actual
U-turn.
Barbie Jeep, too.
I did the whole U-turn with the trailer, freaking came around the other way, snaked back, so I could just this grubby freaking dude getting out of his freaking truck, towing a beat up Escort, grabbing this Barbie Jeep out of the side of the road, hoping that it truly is trash. It looked like trash. It was near the ditch. If your kid's playing in the road, that's your problem.
I just drove by fast enough to grab it and leave.
Took right off. 5-minute operation. Just gone.
Sorry if you miss it.
Yeah, Mud Cricket
Sucks
did good in the
to
dunes,
suck.
though. And then
It looked like it had
too
been
many
through a
beers
power
we were in
wheel
there.
therapy.
In the actual sand and mud.
Pre-used.
Yeah, it was beat.
I'll say I got to the gas station where we were meeting up with him. Texting, I was like, "Where are you?" I had to double back and get this. Sends me a picture of a Barbie Jeep. Like, that's
Rats
badass.
is strapped on the trailer.
The best part about that Barbie Jeep was the skeleton I keep on the top on my cars. That skull that's always bobbing around on my vehicles. It was dead center of the Barbie Jeep windshield in my mirror. So it just bobbing along the entire drive every time I look in the rear view.
Oh boy.
Iron Skillet, that's where we met you at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we caught up to you
Good truck
guys
stop.
in the Super Poo, R.I.P.
Oh,
That was a sweet little car.
I really
I
liked
liked
that car.
that car.
As
Yeah, it
much
was
shit as we
badass
all
until
talked about
until
it.
the struts
Yeah,
got ripped out, both of them into the interior of the car.
2x4 or Ratchet straps and logs. That was a good
Oh,
fix.
it was a tree, yeah. And I guess the junkyard is using it as their yard ass still with the wood in it, and he junked it with the strap still holding everything in.
Wow. That one was her favorite build for the spring one.
Oh, I rode up with him in it, and I love, and then I jumped in the Chad's car because we knew there was already a problem as soon as he started leaving. As soon as we got up there, broken strut. We were at the junkyard within 15 minutes of being up at the Gambler that day. It was a good time, and then...
You can't really say yikes.
I know. I mean, that's kind of my, thing right now, so...
We were the first ones to hit the yard that day.
So that should have been bonus points.
Twice, because you got the wrong struts.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Well, we found some in the back of a car, and we were like, yeah, we don't have to do any work, because they were laying in a Subaru, so we hoped they work, and they didn't. So then we had to go back and actually jack the car up and do it. And, I didn't do much jacking up and helping. I kind of wandered around the yard and just checked out all the old shit that they had there, and then I found some quicksand, which wasn't fun.
Yeah. We found the back corner.
Yeah, that back corner, it swallowed me up to my knees. Luckily, I was standing next to two cars, and I picked myself up, and then I just walked across the hoods of the cars all the way back to the Super Poo.
That junkyard everybody goes to, what's that one called?
Calf line.
Yeah, Calf line. Yeah.
Because they were pulling parts for Eric's car.
Yeah.
And I just kind of meandered back over to the corner where the old cars were because I was looking for derby bumpers. And didn't find shit, but there was some cool shit back there.
I'm pretty sure I think it was an International, like an old International that was sitting in the back that I wanted to go look at, and that's where I climbed over, there was like a wall of cars, and I understand now what that wall was for, to stop you from walking back there. So as soon as I got on the other side, that's when I was there, and Alec was with me, and then I looked out and was like, don't come back here, dude, don't come back here.
Well, Ed Dumas, he was driving around in his Toyota out there, and he apparently found a really big hole because that mud line on his truck, that brand new Toyota he's got, that mud line was really high.
He probably went back there.
His XJ.
Yeah.
We were like, he needed to snorkel more in the junkyard than anywhere else.
There was one thing, it looked like a decently sized puddle, and he jokingly, hey, we get to try out the snorkel. It was probably to the bottom of the doors, at least.
Yeah, it was to the sills easily.
It was
Wow.
definitely a good junkyard. The fact that you can drive out there, too, that's like my favorite.
Yeah,
but
and then they don't care either.
Jacks. He took the wheels off everything.
Well, yeah, but they're
the
also...
guy out there is super awesome.
No, he's cool.
He let me go out there on Sunday. I walked up, knocked on his door, and he just let us... I was like, hey, I gotta go get this part. He's like, oh, you're with the Gambler. That's fine. He's like, can you make it around my truck, or you need me to move it? I was like, I can make it around. He's like, yeah, just come up and let me know what you're taking. I was like, okay, cool.
I called him to make sure he was there.
Yeah.
And
He let me
was
try
like,
all the computers down there until I found one.
Well, Wilbert's is like, no sawzall, no torches, just bring a wrench and a hammer. They're like, just go do whatever the fuck you want and just make sure that you come back up here. We're not pulling you out.
Don't die back there. We'll put you underneath the International in the quicksand.
I'll never find you.
I took a nice nap on the hood of a car.
Yeah, she found a nice black car on the hot day and took a nap for about 2 hours while Ed and I were slaving over the cars trying to get parts out.
Hey, I told you not to do it.
CJ wanted to...
Ed was banging on the side of the car with a wrench
But
trying
it was
to
in the
wake her
quicksand,
up.
so we had to give up.
Oh, yeah, they were buried in the back.
Oh, jeez.
Good
There's
times.
some good newer stuff there, too. Like, it's a good selection in that yard.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, it's all clapped out shit. There was solid looking cars.
It's also...
Oddly arranged.
And they've got
It was
they've got
organized
the,
by model instead of like other yards which
Yeah.
is by... Those are the Fords. Find your Ford.
Yeah,
whatever.
there's the
that's the
Imprezas.
Escort row.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the
The Mustang
Legacies.
row.
There's your Foresters.
They've
Yeah.
also got some like oddities out there
Yeah.
too. So I mean that was pretty cool. We saw a bunch of like offbeat Saabs down there way in the back.
Mhm.
Those were awesome.
Definitely a good selection. I wanted to go back up just to get some parts off the Luminas up there.
I told her after we were in Binghamton, I'm like, I'd rather just go back to that one than go to Gary's, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Gary's works.
I love Gary's, but that I
In
think
a
the guy at
pinch.
Cap
See,
Lines
their
is just
Ford
such a
lot
good
keeps
dude.
getting
that I would
smaller, which
love
means
to
my
give him
need
so
to
much
go there and
business.
get smaller and smaller.
They're cheap too for their parts. For both the struts that we pulled, we were like, I mean, they basically brand new struts. It was only $40 for the two of them. It was
Yeah.
nothing.
What did he charge us? 50 for?
Less.
Less than 50. We
Less.
grabbed so much shit. We grabbed like a
Less.
strut, a computer,
I think you
a
just...
starter. We grabbed like a couple sensors too, and the guy
I think you tossed him 50.
yeah,
he didn't
he
even-
he said less than 50, and I just gave him the 50. But I mean, Jesus.
I mean,
there's
he
a
even
bunch
said
of
when he was
parts.
like, "Yeah, I love you, gamblers." I was like, "Cause we're here like 10 times a day buying everything out of your fucking
Yeah,
yard."
He knows it's going to work out in his favor because we bring him cars at the end of the weekend.
Yep.
I mean, I sold him my Santa Fe.
Didn't the Bronco get sold to him too?
No, the Bronco got sold to somebody who
Ron
didn't-
Burgundy went to him.
who wasn't upfront
Ron
about
Burgundy
he was
was
scrapping.
Yeah.
Just the name.
I had an
The fact-
Exploder that
the
I named
fact-
Ron
it was a
Burgundy back in
Benz.
the day.
Yeah, the fact that they had a Benz, they built it in New Jersey and drove all the way up there.
Yeah.
I really wish I had seen it before the junkyard got it, because that had a hell of a rear bumper with the tire mount on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Why
sweet.
didn't
That
you
was
take
the
it
best
off?
part
It's
of
like
it.
we didn't have the torches with us.
That's what we said too. I was like, why didn't they take that off of there?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But I guess the bastard son of Ron Burgundy is going to be up this year. Or possibly for the fall.
The bastard
Oh,
son
that'd
of
be
Ron
sweet.
Burgundy.
Did you at least say milk was a bad choice?
Didn't get the chance.
Damn it.
I think all in all, spring was a good time. Good turnout. A lot of
Yeah,
people this
that
year.
was a bigger. I think it was probably the biggest one for the Adirondack so
Yeah.
far.
I do have to give Ed a shout out for letting me drive the Volvo. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I like that car.
Dude,
That
for the
Volvo was
whole
so much
fucking
fun.
weekend.
The
And
DeLorean.
You could just
It's not a Volvo.
thrash the DeLorean, the time machine. You could thrash the crap out of that thing.
I'm pretty sure
It was
that
pretty quick too.
Well, those are surprising.
every Forester that showed up, except for the Jeepalope Forester, which
The
awesome
Jeeparoo.
when he
Jeeparoo.
put the when he put the front end of the Jeepalope on the Forester, every other one had their rear struts rip out, and then they all had to wood brace them. Every Forester.
We were with Crystal Bell for the second day there, and man, that was that was a rough day.
Yeah.
They're driving along and they stop. They're like, "Oh man, something's not right." They're like, "Oh, we'll be all right," and they keep driving. And then finally, I'm like, "Dude, like, you're like leaning hard." And then they start jumping on it, and they're like, "Oh, we need to brace this one up." So we go to this. What was it?
Oh, jeez. It
what?
was like a hardware store.
Ace Hardware, I think.
Bought a 2x4.
Jack's got a freaking chainsaw out in their parking lot, and the lady's standing there, and he's like, "I
Wait.
swear we're gonna clean this up." He's like, "We've got to just fix our car," and they like brace up all the crazy braces and everything. We make it like 3 miles, and I'm like honking my horn, flashing my lights at them, and they're not pulling over. Their back tire went from here to like here, and it was just billowing smoke. And then finally they
Facts.
pulled over, and we got them back to Walmart.
There it is.
Yeah.
Him
Yeah,
with
the
chainsaw.
Subaru all weekend looked like a female dog trying to take a piss. Like it was just
Every
it
time
was
I
squatting
looked in my
hard.
review, it looked like
Oh, man,
the tires
the
were
rim.
Yeah, I mean, after every trail we went on, it became more and more cambered.
It got to the
But it-
point the driver's side was sitting like this, and that's when we
I
started
mean,
cutting
he
up
drove
logs.
that thing all the way back home out to Canandaigua from there with the wood frame, and then he drove it for another week before he junked it. So, I mean, that's some innovation and ingenuity right there.
If they had dealt with the bad clutch, I'd have let him drive the Toyota, and I'd have trailered that back for him.
Yeah, it was
But
more.
they
it
went
was-
out day 2.
It's a cooler story though that he
Yeah.
drove it back like that.
Oh, shit, I forgot.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
left like
Crystal-
Sunday morning.
Crystal
I think.
Bell's
That's right, you guys
Crystal
kept
Bell's
driving
got a lot.
past, and you're like, my
Which
clutch
one was
is
that?
stuck.
Which
Stuck.
Foot and Friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got some stuff in the works. So
Woody always goes way
They
over.
were.
they got you. You're in the group. So
Yeah, I had it muted for the longest time because
Did
I'd
you
be
see the
sitting there and
pictures
my
of
phone
it?
would just start.
Saturday night.
I'm
though-
not giving anything away, but they've got
I'll scroll back and look. At
Crystal Bell's gonna be. She's
Different?
gonna be a little bit different.
competitive this year.
I don't know if competitive, but they're going over the top with this thing.
Did they keep the
From what I've
Subaru
seen.
and fix it, or?
Yeah, they still have it. Yeah, they're gonna do something. They're doing something with it. Same thing as us with Mud Cricket. We're not sure yet, so we're not saying anything. but
Fucking send it.
yeah.
I want to see what Tyler Arenas comes up with for a theme this year, or like for the fall event, because he had the Meow Mix
Mhm.
Blazer.
Yeah, he tagged my car
He
With
tagged me too.
with a Meow Mix
Yeah, I
sticker.
see it right there.
Yeah.
There it
Yeah,
is.
there it is.
He hands it to me and he's like, "Just put it on your car." I was like, "Okay." Apparently, I got tagged.
Apparently, he asked her if it was okay to put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm pretty sure it was the time when everybody was
We were
pole
at the car
dancing.
show. Yeah, everyone.
Pole dancing on the back of Mud Cricket. I don't know who. I have a video of
I saw a
that was
lot of
like
cars get
shaking
tagged
some
with
kind of
random
money maker. He was doing some moves.
Was it Ryan?
Yeah. Yes, it was
Oh
Ryan.
my
It was Ryan.
Santa. You know, that might be a
That
second
video
job.
got posted on the.
We were walking over
Gambler
to look at the
500 rally
limo,
group.
and I turned back and look and see him spin and fall off the pole, and I was like, oh, it looked like he caught his back on the brush guard on the way down, and we just kept walking.
That's gonna hurt when he wakes up. Oh boy.
It sucked. We got back,
That
and
was so fun though.
late day one, he said he had something come up, and he had to get back home real quick, so.
It was his back. It hurt from hitting that brush guard.
I
No,
don't think
because
so.
he said he got a phone call and he had to run, and I was
Oh,
like,
no.
I completely understand.
He left?
Yeah, he had to leave
Oh, I didn't even see
Saturday, right before I took the truck and trailer to go rescue his ass at the gas station.
Hey, I had a system down. I could have made it.
It would have been 2 a.m.
I just had to key the ignition every 2.5 minutes. Actually, no, at that time it was still 5 minutes of driving before I had to shut the car off, turn it back on, and pop start it again. It degraded down to 2.5 minutes the next morning. And we were timing it. It was 5 minutes of the first stretch because we were letting it cool at first, thinking it was just overheating. And then after Craig left with, I don't know who took him away.
I think it wasn't it the Big Samurai? I'm like,
No, it wasn't the Big Samurai. I think it was a Honda. It was like CRV or some sort. Something black.
Oh, the turbo CRV.
Maybe. I don't know who.
Yeah,
I
that
love
thing was
I bought
badass.
that car. That
Dude,
thing's so cool.
awesome.
I kind of want to do that to my Pilot. I want to find a junkyard turbo and stack it with a turbo.
I've got some junkyard turbos laying around.
I've got one sitting out on a power
Oh my
wheels out
gosh.
in the back of the barn.
Welcome to our sales shop.
Well, I'd just give it to him.
I say
$5.
anything like 2 liter or smaller, go to the junkyard and find a Saab because they come stock.
Oh yeah, the Saab.
Yeah.
Like they've come turbo since
That's
like
what I've got.
1986.
Yeah.
because that's what I had on my Integra, and 10
Saab.
psi it held it consistently. So
Saab turbos are awesome.
I'm not
We
looking
had
He
for.
a
lives
soft
apart
turbo. He was
before you
debating
give it
putting on
back.
the Duke as Eagle.
No.
that'd be awesome.
Oh, man.
OG's going on right now.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
just happened? Something just happened at OG. Oh yeah, one
Dude
of the
getting
guys.
the thing spray painted
Yeah,
on
when
his back.
some dude at OG spray painted the logo on his back, and he gave himself a fucking gambler tramp stamp with black spray paint.
I didn't see that one.
You would do
Oh
it.
god,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so funny.
You would do it. Ideas.
That Red Explorer that was up there with us, the guys out of Brooklyn,
hmm
they drove cross country to it with that.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah,
that.
I saw that on the Facebook
Yeah, he
group.
just updated his profile picture. They were out in the trails yesterday. I was like,
That's awesome.
They're-
That was
That would have.
Yeah.
OG kind of looks more
Yeah.
like they're more like
Bum,
stone
bum,
and
bum.
sand trails. Like they don't really get mud like we do out here
There's a
from the
few
looks of
decent
it.
mud holes out there, but a lot of it is sand. Because
Yeah.
I've seen quite a few videos, and they're just like dust for hours.
Yeah, I saw some guy look like he was in like a front wheel drive Justy, mobbing around in like it was like basically like a point that he came down to, and he drove down. It was like slam, stopped, and then he kind of turned it a little bit and just hammered down and threw it over it. It looked pretty sweet. It's cool, but I like the mud a little more. It's a little more challenging, I think, than just dry ground.
That and it's fun when you drive around for a week after the Gambler and you still
Covered
have
in
Yeah, and you're-
100 pounds of
and-
I
mud.
still have mud all over Mud Cricket. I still have the sand. The sand line is still on the
Yeah.
window.
Every time
where we got
every time it
flooded.
rains, there's mud rolling out of every little crevice on the
Yeah.
vehicle still.
I'm pretty sure we just took the tent out of Mud Cricket.
Yeah, we literally we just cleaned Mud Cricket out about like a week ago.
Oh god.
I've been working on it, tearing it apart, but she was like, "You realize the inside of this thing is trashed." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So she took the liberty to clean it out.
Murky.
I got
We-
my skid.
That was actually that was our plan. We didn't tell anybody, but our plan was after the spring, if Mud Cricket ran good enough, we were gonna attempt the cross country thing, and then it all went to hell. So we were like, yeah,
It went to hell before the Gambler even started.
It went to
Yeah.
hell with the, don't do it! Do not do this.
And then he did it.
And it literally, he said,
That's what the gambler's all about,
Effing-
though.
P-U-S-S-Y-S. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
just sent it.
Yeah. Well, the kid that was up there, his name's Wyatt Sands. Everyone knows him. Well,
Yeah.
some people know him, but he's from my hometown, and I've known him for a long time. And he's sitting there, and he's like, "Don't do it. It's bad." And I'm like, "Why aren't you going through it?" I was like, "Just go and get up the other side." And he's like, "No, you don't know, dude. We put our bumper in, and we backed out. It's not worth it." He's like, "It's not even worth the glory." And I said, pretty much, "You effing whatever."
You can
Pussy.
Yeah, I was like, all right. I was like, all right, you fucking pussy. I was like, I'm gonna do it, and I sent it, and then literally it was like, eat your words. 15 seconds later, I literally hit it, tried to back up, and I look around and I go, hey, Wyatt, you got a chain? Like literally 15 seconds after, fuck you, pussy, I'm going for it.
Milliseconds after he says that, you could hear me screaming, "Don't do it! Don't Talon, no!"
Oh, but Jack's in the back going, fucking send it, dude. Fucking hammer. I'm like,
Everybody,
alright.
everybody after was like,
Oh,
"She's
yeah,
really
afterwards. No, that's
She's
always
really
how it goes.
mad.
Afterwards, everyone's like, I wouldn't have done that. And I'm like, no, you told me to do it. It's like, they're like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, oh, at the time I wasn't.
That's like we were coming around a different trail. We come up to the trail and there's a T and we're like, which way do we go? And someone was walking up from one of the Jeeps and they're like, yeah, Talon's up to his doors over there, don't bother.
Yeah.
So we just kind of went down the other
We
trail.
were the ones that rolled up on him,
This
like I said earlier.
one's got her feet up on the seat. Like, she's like, I'm gonna get water on me. It's like coming it was in the glove box. Oh, yeah, it was bad.
fucking everywhere.
I didn't even see the hole in the daylight. I didn't know where it was out there.
Oh man, it was.
I don't know where it is either, but I found it.
Oh, I know. I
You
could.
found it.
If we were back there today, it was when you go in and then you take that first trail on the right as you're coming down like the trails for AIS. You'll come around and then they actually, because of him, they put a fence up at the end of it after he got buried. So it was a dead end after Friday. But if you were to take that left right there, that's where they stopped. And then he wouldn't during the daytime, you could see that's a swamp, and that would not be something that you'd want to drive in.
We made it through that in the fall.
Yeah, and
We
like
drove a lot drier.
Okay.
yeah, and
'Cause
then
they
at
went
night.
back to the Devil's Splash Park in the fall.
We drove through a
Nice
trailer
and
park
dry.
in the fall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was with you. When we did the 14 wide drag race in the field?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody took different directions out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went through the trailer park.
Yeah.
I went.
Several of us did. Including,
Jocelyn did
including
too.
Dixie Cup with no plates.
That
and
sounds
Reggie.
like a
Yeah.
gambler event right there, boys.
Well, Jocelyn took the fence down so no one knew it was there.
There was a fence?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
Apparently, it
I
was
heard about
attached
it.
to him.
I heard about it on
But
day
we were
3.
told just, there's fences. You'll know when you're not where
He
you're supposed to
legitimately
be.
said there was a fence attached to us for a while there. I didn't know that was a place we couldn't go.
They just drove through the fence.
Well, that
So
explains
everyone
why we were
follows.
confused.
Yeah.
It's funny. The briefing for the Fall Gambler or the Spring Gambler Friday night, Tyler was like, "No 14 wide drag races," and everyone's like, "Can we go 13 wide?" No.
I don't even know all the people involved
Sorry,
in that.
Tyler.
We got second. We lost to one of the
My bad.
Jeeps.
We didn't know we were drag racing.
I gotta get a
Yeah,
helmet
we
so I
really
can
had
do
a
the
loudspeaker.
circle track
That's how we
this
knew it.
year, so
Someone
I
had-
can be racing.
Somebody had a loudspeaker and was like, "Drag race?" And everyone was like, "Yeah!" So then it was
Scott
like,
was right next to us.
No.
we just heard someone honk the horn 3 times, so I just floored it.
We
Natural
were
instinct.
Yeah, right?
we were like 10 cars away, but I didn't even know there was a drag race going on. Did you guys like stop and stage and then go? Because when I hit the field, I was
we
just
all
in a group.
did.
I was just in a group of people going.
Yeah. Oh, so you came in at the end. Yeah. There was just a line of cars across this field, and we all just took off.
Yeah.
And then everyone got, like,
Glass.
into certain areas. There was a couple
Have a
cars
wine
here, a couple
glass.
cars there. We're like,
It's even better when I got a
ooh,
full
how do we
beard
get back
and also
now?
a mustache cup.
Should have just turned
Go
them all
ahead on
around
that,
13 wide back.
I shook it
Yeah,
up driving
right?
it here. I drove a little aggressively on the way here, so it shook my beer up.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's no fun.
yeah.
Excuses.
Little head's not that bad.
Lord.
Good times.
It always is.
Always.
That's like the first. When I got back from my first Gambler, my coworker Justin, he was like, "I want to do one," and I was like, "Get something together for the spring." Originally I told him to go to Frozen Nuts.
I've been telling him to fix up his yard ass to do it.
Dude, he's gonna put a head gasket in it now.
I was just telling him to go buy CJ's yard ass.
Well,
He's got a motor.
Justin's got a Jeep too, though.
He's got a XJ with a bad frame. The front control arm's about to rip out of it.
Just get it running and let's go.
It runs like a top. Drips every fluid it can, but it runs like a top. I was like,
Just
dude,
bring extra fluids to top it
I was
off.
like, bring that and gamble it. You'll do fine. Because I remember spring last year, there was Jeeps that were falling apart that went through the splash park with us. Like the red, white, and blue one. He got into the mud hole, and when I was leaving the mud hole, I heard him shut it off, and they're like, yeah, no, it got really hot. Okay.
Yep.
But it's a stock Jeep, and it was doing fantastic.
Let it cool off and then
Because
we'll
it was
go
the same
again.
mud hole that footy almost ruled the Subaru with.
See, I think at this point we would just like to finish a Gambler.
I say, I finished.
I feel like
I
those
did
are
I did
my
the
worst.
best for the most proper waypoints of
Yeah.
this most
We didn't.
recent
We
one.
only hit up like the group I was with. We only hit up like 2 death tracks, and but even if you're not hitting the death tracks, just those trails and the sights that you come across, rolling up on that, driving that road where the road's as wide as your fucking car is, and it's just lake on this side, lake on this side. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then that one spot where, I mean, that's where we met up with Scott and Captain, Captain and all that, and there was like a dam and the huge lake right there. It's just, even if you're not going with the death tracks, it's still just.
Yeah.
It's an experience that you should have if you're in the air, like anywhere from the area, and you like any kind of off-roading. It's incredible.
It's
I
the
loved it.
Adirondacks.
It was it was
It's always
amazing.
gorgeous.
Yeah, we didn't really. We kind of just went on a Women of Prayer, the first one, the fall one,
Yeah.
and we were just driving around, and this little black and red Volvo just comes up and parks next to us at the same waypoint. And we talked to him for a minute, and he's like, "Yeah, dude," he's like, "you can hang with us." And then we follow him to a bunch of waypoints, and I'm like, "You gonna do some death tracks?" And he's like,
Never
in
done
in
them
the
before.
Volvo, and I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Never done them." And I'm like, "You wanna follow us?" And he's like, "Sure." So
He told me
Nick's
about
like
this.
swimming this Volvo in
He
the
told me
in
about
the
this.
fall. Oh my god, it was awesome. And then I don't know. I still say Nick's Volvo is like my favorite car.
That
That thing's
the
Yeah,
death
I
track he
love that
followed you
Volvo.
to is the same death track that God, I can't remember his name. The guy he had a white Legacy that was lifted on like 30s, and
the
then
guy from Ohio.
yeah, the guy from Ohio,
Okay.
and then he ended up getting a flat there, and he was running on his donut, which was just so much smaller than the rest of the tires he had. And ironically, Isaiah had a full-size spare in his car, so we gave it to him, which matched the size he had on there. And like, I don't even know how I had it. I had a can of black spray paint somehow, so he gave it to me, sprayed it up, and then at the Gambler he went to after that, I think it was with Maine. Or, no, I don't know if it was a Maine Gambler. I think it was a little more west of us.
Oh.
He hit a rock and bent the rim on it and then blew out the tire. So he ended up having to go back to the donut anyway.
I remember reading about that on the page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about the rest of it. I talked to that guy because he hung out Sunday night as well.
Yeah, he's the one that had the black lab, and she was cool as running around, and as soon as we hit the trail, she did not want to come out of that car. She was like freaking out. Good times.
Yeah, the spring was fun. I do want to give like a shout out to like everybody that helped us because there was a whole handful of people.
I wonder
Like,
how
so-
many people were under the hood.
Justin,
Yeah,
Justin
there were people-
was the madman that came over that for
the
the
guy that
first
came.
night.
Yeah, the guy with you guys.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah, he came over and gave me a battery charger. There was a guy
Justin
who
DeLong.
I think he was from New Hampshire. He was in a van or a bus. He let us borrow his grinder to cut the skid plate off.
Because you
Yeah.
welded it?
Ed, 110%. I mean, that kid went above and beyond to help us out. I mean, I love that kid. He did great. So, and then everybody else, I didn't catch anybody's names. It was hectic, but
So every time I looked over there was
Yeah.
10 new people
there was
helping
always
you.
a crowd
Yeah.
yeah.
and then I mean I didn't even get over there till like it was like 11:30 when I went over there for the first time, and you hadn't even had the skid plate off yet, and it was
We
just
didn't get the skid plate
you
off
couldn't
until
even-
the next morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you guys are working
Fantastic.
on it, and like I lean over and I know my way around a hood moderately, but I'm not like a genius mechanic, and like when I looked over I was like, all I can see is
Sand's
mud.
not
Yeah,
supposed to
there's
be
just
up to here.
there's just a lot of sand in here. And I was like, let's just get some water and just start dumping some buckets of water down here to try to clean this out a little bit. And then you guys didn't even do that till like the next morning.
Oh no, Nick came over with a bunch when he showed up with the Volvo. He came over with like 5 or 6 buckets worth,
Yeah.
and you just kept dumping them down there, washing the starter off, and then finally we were like, "Yo, that starter's like fried. It's hotter than anything.
Well,
it's smoking. It's done."
The next
So
morning,
then we just gave up for the night.
Justin and I came back over and we were helping you, and then I think she was in there turning it, and then Justin was underneath like hitting it with a hammer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we got it to turn, but it wouldn't turn it on.
That was after I cut the skid plate off.
Oh,
Yeah.
it turned over once.
Yeah, it did turn
One
over.
time.
That starter, when I got it home, I did take it apart. That starter was literally had a mold of the electric motor inside of it. Of
just melted.
Sand.
Oh,
Just
sand.
sand everywhere.
I was oblivious to all of this transpiring.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
just
I mean,
drinking
if you
cookie.
drove around the back half, she was blocking the whole road.
I mean, you guys pieced pretty early. And then your guys' conversation is actually because you guys were cooking was right next to my tent. And then 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm like I'm waking up like, who the fuck is talking? It's 5 a.m. And then I lean out, it's you guys cooking breakfast. So I was like, well, I guess I might as well get up.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I end up at
It's 40 degrees out, and I put my cutoff on and my shorts, and I was like, burp, back into my gambler suit.
I try to be quiet when I'm out there making my coffee at 5 a.m.
8 o'clock leave time. You might as well get up a little early, get some breakfast in you before you head out.
See,
So.
my internal clock resets the second I get into 10. I go right to a 9 o'clock bedtime, 5 a.m. wake up.
Yep.
Every time I can.
The 8 o'clock leave time was nice. The first spring event, Tyler put way too many checkpoints day one. It was like a 6:45 leave time.
Oof.
Oof.
So I was like, I'm not going to drink because everyone's going to be dead tomorrow morning. I got up and I was just like, what the hell is wrong with us? Get over to the driver's meeting. Half the people never showed up because they were asleep.
I mean, I see 6:45 in the morning, and I'm like,
it was-
challenge accepted. Like, let's stay up till 2, let's drink a 30 rack and see what happens.
This one on cue. Every time that car breaks, she's like, we're gonna get up for the driver's meeting just in case, right? I'm like, no, like I just want to get home. This thing's screwed.
Sunday driver's meeting, there was only like 30 people standing there.
Well,
that.
I was making breakfast talking with Tyler before the driver's meeting on Sunday. It's like, is there anything new I need to know? No. I was like, I'm just going to stay here.
Well, you saved me that morning. My grill would not stay lit, so every time I kept finding it, I mean, you remember, I burned my eggs, my bacon was like charcoal black.
Some of it was charcoal, some of it was almost raw.
Yeah, some of it was good, some of it was almost raw, and
Yeah.
then there was like those 3 pieces in the middle that were like, oh, there's some good bacon there, let's eat
Pre-cooked your
it.
bacon.
Yeah,
Pre-cook
it was terrible.
Pre-cook it and freeze it. And
I'm
just
not
wrap it
bringing
in
that
foil.
stove with me that in the fall. I promise you that stove was garbage.
They sell boxes of like pre-cooked bacon.
Well, yeah, but I was like, let's cook
It's
some
not
actual
quite the
bacon.
same.
Let's get some bacon going. We're camping, but it didn't work out.
Hey, I'm just.
I remember we got Mud Cricket running in the spring, and this one's just like, I need protein, and she bought like $20 worth of just beef sticks at the little country store on the corner there. That and coffee. That was it. It was like coffee and just like a mass quantity
I
of
need
beef jerky.
protein.
I'll say my first gambler, Erik was my saving grace because I was kind of convoying with them, so they cooked me food, and I was super grateful. But before that, all I had was rock stars and peanut butter crackers.
That's literally our first gambler. We literally showed up with
Second
like
gambler.
no, our first one.
Well, our second gambler was dedicated to booze.
Yeah.
Oh, my first gambler was an
I'm
absolute
thankful for.
mess of attempting to cook because I had just won like a Coleman Road Tripper grill. I was like, I'll bring that instead of my tried and true setup that I always bring. And not a single propane tank would work in it. We're fumbling around. Finally, we're building a fire pit out of river rock in Kevin's land because it's the only place there is rock to build with. We're getting a roaring fire together. We're just cooking the burgers on a cast iron in the middle of the freaking coals. Next morning, I'm up at 5 a.m. trying to make coffee with a MAP gas torch. Just holding on to the tip. It was rough.
I was the only one of us that actually brought any kind of camp gear this time. Like I brought up the 3 tents, the canopy. I was sleeping in my tent. Justin was in the other one. Isaiah was gonna stay in the other tent with Justin, but he slept in his Forester. And then I brought that 12-person tent that turned out to be everybody's storage unit. There were people. I was like people walking out, and I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like,
You brought the Taj Mahal and a few smaller buildings.
yeah, like that's what happened. And I was like, so at the next one, I'm gonna bring the Taj Mahal, the White House, and the 2 tents and the canopy. So there'll be more room for people to sleep and stay. But and then with food, I mean, Jack and them, they were walking around the Saturday night, and they're like walking around like they were starving. I could see that they were just
That's because the frying of the turkey failed.
yeah, and I could see that they
That
were
was
just
sad.
like dying. So I mean, I brought so much damn food. I over prepared, and so I had like 3 packs of hot dogs, 2 packs of burgers. So I just started screaming, "Come get some food! I've got too fucking much!" And people just started coming over and just grabbing burgers and dogs all damn night Saturday night.
Wasn't Nick
What was
Fargnoli just cooking food at our campsite the whole time?
Pretty much, but I mean, dude, I'm just saying, there were people that were there that came prepared. There was people
That was not us.
built-in smokers into their freaking like tailgates. Like what?
Speaking of Nick, I really wanted to see that golf run.
When
They went
it
for the
caught
Hail
fire
Mary.
before he got
Me
there,
and him,
I was
no,
heartbroken.
I've never,
This close.
honestly, I didn't meet him at the Fall Gambler, and I'd never met him before, and we live in the exact same town. And I was just commenting on his shit, and I'm like, hey, dude, like, you should just go to Gary's. And he's like, yeah, I don't have time, all this other stuff. And then finally I was like, you want to go to Gary's together? And he's like, yeah, sure. We literally have never met each other. So I was like, I should just drive Mud Cricket so he knows what I'm in. So he knows who I am. 'Cause he's not driving the Golf, so I don't know what he drives. So I just showed up in Mud Cricket, and I just stood on the back of the car and waited for this kid to walk up to me. I'm like, hey, what's up? And we went and pulled a whole wiring harness. I understand why it didn't work, but we tried. I really wanted to see that.
I
That was one of
wanted
my favorite
that was
clubs
one of the
ever.
ones I wanted to see. The
Yeah.
other one I liked is I love that war hatch, that the BMW, I think it's like a 318.
Kyle's, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love war hatch. I've
Yeah.
seen him out around Letchworth and he's kind of from the area over here. And then I finally got to see it up at the Gambler, and I love that car for the rear-wheel drive. It's that thing so. I love that car. It's got the gas tanks mounted on it. That thing looks so Mad Max. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I love the Mad Max look.
Was that
Yeah.
at fall? Last year?
I didn't go to fall last year.
I don't believe it was
the
at the
same day
fall.
my
I don't
daughter was
know.
born.
At least I didn't see him myself. But he said that one since fall 2017 at least.
Yeah,
He said the War Hatch a while.
yeah.
I feel like
He
I saw him.
when he was he was there. He where the road where you would go in to get to the parking lot for the racetrack. He was at the campsite that was right there on the right
Yeah,
hand
the Spring
side.
Gambler. We're thinking of the fall one prior. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
remember seeing him
I
there.
say at the spring one.
I don't know. I don't
Mud
remember
Cricket was
any
here,
cars.
the road was here, and they were here.
Mhm.
So they were practically next to each other.
Him
I
and,
remember
Social
him in
Justice
the
Patrol too,
spring,
I think.
yeah.
That's Social Justice Patrol.
Yeah, I think they were camped next
I
to
wish
each
I
other.
had seen their first car. The chopped up Accord.
Oh yeah, anything Honda.
How about that guy out west with the 4-wheel drive 2 double engine Honda Accord that
Oh
he's
yeah,
spray
I
painted
wanted
with
to see
the-
way
It's
more
got like
pictures
a
of that, Bill.
pissed off shark on one side, the happy shark on the other side, and then like he just got it sponsored by the mechanic that's across the street from him. Like the cars out west, man, they're doing some serious shit out there compared to what we do. They don't deal with the rust that we deal with.
Yeah.
Everything out there is clean.
We're in the
Their
super
$500
rust belt.
beaters
Yeah.
are $1,500 daily drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
Their $500 cars out there would be worth a fortune out here.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I like that one is just he had the video of him doing the burnouts with it. I would love to be able to see that car in
The
action.
one that I want to go to the OG to see is the Compensator.
The limo?
The limo on 54s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude,
The tan
That
limo.
thing's sweet.
that thing's amazing.
The Beetle he goes with too is pretty badass. That Beetle, it's
Yeah.
it's got like it's probably like 30s on it. That's a badass Volkswagen.
Yeah, that thing's cool.
Spring 18, there was 2 Beetles. One blew up in the parking lot because I remember we were leaving and there was pool oil under it.
Oh,
And the other one, I guess, actually did pretty good out in the trails.
They don't do bad. They're so. When I
think
had
one
my
of them was
Focus, they're the short wheelbase front wheel drive cars that are light. They're fucking tanks. They'll pull themselves through anything as long as they've got like over 150 horsepower.
We do want to make it to the OG.
OG is definitely on the bucket list.
Oh, yeah.
OG's on the bucket.
Oh yeah, I would love to get out to Oregon
OG
and
was supposed to be
California
on our
and hit
list
them.
this year. We were supposed to like post a picture when we were leaving and be like, "Hey guys, guess what?" Like as a last minute thing, but Cricket's not doing hot, so
I'm just
That ain't
gonna
on the
use
list.
my fifth.
yeah.
My,
I know.
my fifth.
Every time something happens with that car, I'm not right and she is. So I'm only right when it comes to fixing it.
Well, I was gonna say you're
I'm
right.
not
You're
right
right
when
when
it
it
comes to
runs
breaking
again.
it.
Yeah, you're right when it runs again.
Before
you wouldn't-
before anything breaks, I'm told don't do it, and I look at her and go, I'm gonna do it, and she goes, if it breaks, it breaks. I'm like, yeah, you're right, and I send it, and then I get the whole, I told you so. You're a fucking idiot.
Been there, done
Yeah.
that.
I'm just saying.
The next question after.
I'm not opposed to death tracks. I'm opposed to breaking the vehicle that we drove in to get home.
The question after I break it is, all right, the first one wasn't my fault, but no.
Fighting words.
I do believe every
the
single
question-
time that we've broken the car, don't do it is the very first thing that comes out of my mouth. You're
That's
like,
how it goes
no,
all the
it's
time.
The first
fine."
question after the car breaks is, "Can you get this home?" And I go, "I think. I really hope." No,
Well,
the
matter
first
what,
time
I
we
don't
broke
even think at
it.
this point it's a question. I'm like, we're getting this home.
The first time we
It's
broke
happening.
it. The first time we broke
We
it
have
was
no
not
choice.
my fault. We had a log come in through because I completely demolished the body of that car to fit those tires under it. We had a log come through the wheel well with the tires turned, and the log smoked the harmonic balancer.
Oof.
And it separated it so you got the pulley and then the rubber and then the center. It separated the rubber off of it. We were screwed. And then I learned a really good lesson about Hyundais because I've never really touched them before because I just work on big diesel trucks. So I learned a really quick lesson about them that when you press the harmonic balancer off of the motor, the timing gear is actually pressed onto the harmonic balancer. And if you want to get it off without doing a bunch of work, you're supposed to drill out some dowel pin that I didn't know about.
Tech tip of the day.
So tech tip of the day. If you're going to pull the harmonic balancer off of a Hyundai Santa Fe with a 2.7 liter in it, probably should look into that a little bit better.
Just make sure you have a decent key ring.
And not do
Because-
it in a parking lot.
You know.
Yeah, the key ring did fix it. That was like the saving grace. But if you
And it lasted. It did last. I only bought the kit because he said that I should buy the kit because just in case he
the
doesn't
timing
want
belt
to do
was
it
really
again.
stretched and cracked. But if you're gonna pull the harmonic balancer off, you don't want to hear that sound of the cams clicking over. That's a really bad sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that first time we broke wasn't really my fault. I was in the mud playing around, but it wasn't my fault.
I still blame you.
That was the log's fault.
I would like to add that after being in an episode and then watching episodes, I love this couple harmonics here. We've never had a passenger here really that's been like, "Oh, I fucking told you so." Like I love this like back and forth banter
I'm
you guys
pretty
got
sure-
going. It's perfect.
I'm pretty sure there is video footage of me screaming.
Yes, someone
from
does
the
have
back
it.
seat. I fucking told him not to do it. He doesn't listen, and I'm like, yeah. I mean that rings true because I
Yeah.
still say it, and he knows now. Hey, listen, no more Friday night boozed up runs where I'm feeling
I say,
boozed
no
up
more
cocky.
night gamblers. Unless it's drag race.
I'm-
He was like, oh, I know this kid. Fucking pussy. I'm sending it. Meh. And then immediately I'm like,
Buried.
I'm just gonna put my foot in my mouth
Well-
at this point because like I don't have anything to say.
Speaking
I
of
know it's broken because it's my fault. Like I get
but
that.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're gonna fix it.
Yeah.
Speaking of buried, Sunday on the game, we had great weather
Oh, yeah.
all weekend, and then out of the fucking nowhere, it starts hailing cats and dogs. Like, I mean, it wasn't even cats and dogs; it was cows and
It was
chickens.
hailing.
We were
Yeah,
trying,
it was
we were trying to
hailing.
fix the headlights
And then,
in that.
and then Isaiah's like, "Oh, here's a mud pit. Let's try to go through it." And he buried the super poo. I mean, like when he first hit, it went up to his window on the left hand side, and then
I
he
got a
managed to
text
get out
message
a little
about this,
bit.
yeah.
He get it out a little bit. Like I got a good video of it, and then ironically, he was pulled out by a Chevy Tracker.
We should probably hit the questions.
No, this is good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got some good.
Those
Sorry
are
for
good
watching
shit.
time over there.
Do we have questions?
He did.
I think we've
Yeah,
covered
the whole
almost
list.
everything.
Just a lot of shit talking and
Yeah.
storytelling.
I mean, stories are
Well, that's all
actually-
it is.
Yeah, stories are a lot better than, oh, hey, let's do this rehearsed shit.
Yeah, well, it's because then whenever there's a rush, we're always looking at the
Let's
list.
be
It's always
honest, the only
quiet.
Let's
we
be
got our
honest, the only reason we do
downtime.
the gamblers so we have a story to tell on Monday.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah.
You have plenty.
Usually,
Oh,
We have
the
boy.
story's
plenty
like,
for-
oh, I broke all this. When I got my truck back, I was trying to figure out what I did to the clutch. My brother was like, oh, how'd you break the windshield? I broke the windshield? I walked over, there's this huge crack in the edge of my windshield.
Oh,
I bottomed it out in the dunes repeatedly.
oof.
If anybody ever wants to
And I cleaned
know,
the shock off.
if anyone ever wants to know the damage to Mud Cricket, go open the back driver's side door. It's written on the door. We have the entire it's almost taken up the entire door panel. Every time we break something, one of us goes and writes it in Sharpie on the door, like, you're an idiot.
Bought
you
and
broke
replaced.
this. Bought and replaced this, or
And
just
then
like
with the
Gary's
price.
trip or Kaplan's trip or whatever.
Speaking of breaking
Yeah.
and just covering the inside of something, Friday night when we were bombing around out in the trails, Tommy gets up on the roof.
Oh, I rode the roof on the fucking trails. I've got so much video of it.
We-
My ass was purple on Saturday morning.
What happened?
Isaiah, I was like, oh, like, I'm bombed. So I'm like, oh, yeah, bud. So Isaiah's driving through the woods, and I was like, I looked at Justin, I was like, watch this, bud. So we're driving through the trails. I grab the roof rack, I climb out the window while he's driving, and then I climb up, and I'm sitting on the roof of the car, and then Isaiah's like, or, no, not Isaiah,
Gosh.
I did this 2 nights in a row. The first night it was with Justin, and then I'm riding around, and like we hit the mud and then whatnot. Second night, it's with Chad, so I do the same thing. I kick my door
No,
open.
it was the first night that we were.
Was it the first night that we did?
Yeah, because I kept opening the doors. And
Yeah,
every time
and
we
then
floored it, it covered the
and
inside
then
of the doors.
Chad's
with
laying down in the backseat, kicking the doors open. Isaiah looks behind him, thinks Chad and I fell out of the car. So, and then I'm like, no, bud, like, boom, 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 I'm on top of the car. So he's mudding, and I'm like, like flying around on the hood of the car, or on top of the car. And then every time we come to a mud pit, Chad kicks the door open again. The back of the car just filled with mud. Like, it was just, like, it was so much mud inside that
we
car.
get back to the camp, I shine my light on it. I was like, Isaiah, something happened. He looked and he's like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, and I mean,
Good time.
like,
It was a good time, but he...
Always is.
for me, it was
Always a
like
good
a good
time.
idea and a bad idea, but it went down legendary, so I can't wait to do it again.
Anything that I'm known for legendary, I don't ever want to do again.
Nah, me for I'm
I
like,
don't want to break anything ever again.
go
on
big
the
or go
car.
home. All that happened was a nice
I'm gonna
purple
break
ass, and if I can say that, and I was awake while it happened, then good. If I woke up and my ass was purple and I couldn't tell anyone why, then I'd be worried. So.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Can I just say that Mud Cricket wouldn't be Mud Cricket if we didn't break something.
Oh yeah, every time.
Just something.
Wait, did you guys make it through Frozen Nuts?
Yeah.
Hey.
We didn't break anything technically. We didn't really make
But
it. So
I said don't do it, and he did it, and we got stuck. But he got out. I'm
There's
just
a
saying,
video
but I
of
said
it.
don't do it.
Oh, okay. So for whoever's if you're watching this and whoever was at Frozen Nuts that stood beside my car after I finally made it out after the 20 minutes, who said, "Hey, I smelled gas." You were damn right you smelled gas because my gas lines were ripped the fuck out of my car. And I didn't know it, and you did, so congrats to you. But I did drive home on it. And I did roll the window down 100 times and say, "Hey, babe, you smell gas."
Could have went down in
So-
flames like Alex Bronco with the gas leak. So, good for you.
That's gonna be the next story we cover. I'm going to start the live segment. Just kind of.
All right, you want to stop for a second? And then I'm going to go take
Yeah, I was thinking I gotta
Yeah.
piss.
take a leak before the live segment?
I'm dancing.
Okay.
Where do I go?
There's a 5-gallon bucket out back.
You can go inside. Or you can gamble it.
Pop a squat.
You got napkins in the car, bro?
I got shock towels.
What?
They're not like the greasy red ones. They're the nice blue roll ones.
Okay, that sounds good. Just point me in the direction. Yeah, hold this. In there.
That's a lot of dead space. You're just gonna leave that running.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can pause that.
We live?
Yes, we're live. And
We are
we're back
live.
to recording.
Hey, alright, fuck you
We're
guys.
going live!
Don't be a dick.
Intermission's done. If
Yeah.
someone wants to pull up the live stream in case anybody asks questions or anything, that way we
Okay.
don't just.
I'll let
I
you
don't know if I
Ignore
have
everybody.
service here, but yeah, I do.
Do you have Verizon?
Yes.
You have service.
So let's pull up.
AT&T and Sprint are useless out here. Everybody that comes down
My
from,
AT&T's got 5.
everybody that comes down from the city
Well.
with like Sprint and AT&T, they're just like, dude, you're in a dead zone. And it's like, no, Verizon and Straight Talk are perfect out here.
Gambler 500. We are live right here.
I would say audio off. Any questions or
Yeah,
anything?
we're gonna
Matt?
turn the audio off, and we're a little behind, but
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I think we'll see if. Oh boy.
Ryan Evans, cricket.
Oh boy, we're gonna get 100 of those
Cricket.
comments tonight.
Cricket.
Ryan, wait until the
God,
actual
when you
video gets
finally
uploaded.
got it going and driving
Yeah, wait-
around
yeah, wait
camp,
till the
everyone is
video.
like, cricket! Oh my cricket!
That's like the pink pickle. He was doing hot laps all
Yeah.
fucking day, and then it just
Oh,
dies.
I loved him.
Yeah,
he
he-
was so sweet.
He couldn't even I don't remember what was the problem. I don't even remember
Someone
what the problem
pulled the
was.
fuse on him.
Yeah,
and
so
put it
yeah,
back in
that's
the
what it
wrong
was. Someone
spot.
pulled the fuse on him while he had his hood popped.
Well, they were probably. I mean, don't get me wrong. Cruising around base camp's awesome, but he just kept doing hot laps. So I imagine someone was like, "What the fuck?" and pulled
Yeah,
the
you're
fuse.
too damn loud. I'm an asshole. This is where I'm trying to sleep. It's
Too
a
damn
fucking
loud.
gambler.
We had hillbilly exhaust fest,
gambler.
and some dude dropped the clutch and popped his drive shaft.
I love it how it was like
Did you
the
guys
main
see
thing was
that?
like
No.
Yeah.
One of the Silverados that had fucking a stack in the intake up through the hood. Everybody's revving the shit out of their trucks. He tries to do a burnout, shears his drive shaft right off.
Yeah, he was parked by the Franklin
Oh,
boys.
wow.
That's another batch
Because
of locals
we
from
walked
Delaware
up,
County.
we were walking up, and I was like, "Oh, cool, he has a spare drive shaft." No, the ears are broken off. Oh boy.
how about that kid that broke his daily driver Silverado during the tug of war, the white one.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see
I
that.
completely missed the tug of war when it was.
I don't
even
Yeah, I
remember.
missed it too.
I don't know what he broke, but with the next morning, it was on a jack stands with tires missing off the back of it, and
I wanted to do the tug of war, but my clutch was already gone by the time they did it. Otherwise, I'd have been pulling everything.
God, I keep forgetting his name. What's his name with the 240? He did really
Travis
well.
Ball.
Yeah, Travis.
Yeah.
Travis.
Oh, no.
He's one that was in the episode with. He did really well, and then he was also like one of the only guys to make it over the steep dune.
Yeah,
I want to do tug of war against my brother in his Elantra.
that would have been a good
Escort
matchup.
Elantra.
I don't know.
that
I
would've been
think
good.
I think
don't
that
think I'm allowed
Elantra
to
might have
do
had
tug of
you.
war.
I think the
I don't
Elantra
think
would
I'm
have
allowed
had
to do
you.
anything.
Nah.
Oh, easy.
You can
Easy,
drive for the
bud.
tug
How's
of
your-
war.
You can do whatever
Are you
want.
gonna run the ZX? Are you gonna run the
within
ZX2 in the next one, or
I don't have a ZX2.
or
The SVT,
the
my
Escort?
SVT?
The
Or
Escort.
my Escort.
Yeah, the
The
Escort.
Escort's going to come back.
the Cosworthless.
Cosworthless or Escort service, yeah, it's coming back.
Wait, was
Even with
tug of
even
war-
with even with the basketball size hole in
Yes.
the bumper.
I'm just gonna hammer it back.
was tug of war after Friday?
Oh no,
Yeah,
that was
It was Saturday.
Saturday
I guess it was
night.
Saturday
Tug of
night.
War was
You can
Saturday.
do that if we can make it through one full day. Then yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
But not Friday night. Friday night you're at camp.
Friday night, we're taking your keys and we're gonna hide them.
Yes.
Apparently.
There was
Yes.
what was it?
I will take those keys and I will hide them in
No,
ungodful
we'll
places.
just sneak over, we'll jack the car up and put the jack stand
Oh,
under
by the
each
way,
corner.
anybody live that wants to see couples coral, stay tuned for the video that's going to get uploaded. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
The cricket couples coral.
Front wheel drive is actually when watching tug of wars, the front wheel drive cars reign king on those tug of wars.
I think it's how the weight shifts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the Buick, the kid with the lifted Buick, the Century I think it was. He was towing a car that was twice his weight in horsepower, and he was still smoking the dude. I couldn't believe it. Just random slamming door sounds from your haunted barn.
No, Court getting something over the car. Once I get.
I was
once we
hoping
find
Alex showed up randomly.
Once we find her something new, I want to gamble that Blazer. Her dad wants it back, but I want to gamble it. It's 4-wheel drive. It's a.
I'm
crusty
messaging him right
box
now
that's
because
been
he said he'll
rolled
be
over.
home around 9.
I text Nick. He's doing chores and stuff around the house, and he's gonna try to make it over for a little bit. So.
He already made it back to PA. He must have started earlier.
Yeah. Is he in the new Volvo?
Yeah, his 240.
Ooh.
He
The new
officially
old Volvo.
parted out and got that's when I was like, R.I.P.
Well, he's gonna pull the
Oh,
motor.
dude,
from
sad.
Yeah, that's gonna
That's
go in
so
his.
sad.
I
Red
think
and
that's
black
gonna,
Volvo.
Nick, yeah.
He might stop over.
that's gonna go in his Subaru, isn't it?
What?
That Volvo was my favorite car. I loved that Volvo.
Dude,
so
It's
much.
legendary.
It
It's
is.
legendary.
We had.
He drove to Gary's right before the Spring Gambler. He came to Gary's and hung out with us. Me, her, and Nick walked around down at Gary's. It was awesome. The Volvo was there. Dude, I love that car, and it just pains me.
We had at least a month building that car at the shop before the first time you ran it. And I was like, if you total this before the Gambler, I will kill you.
I remember the video when you guys got it running and they were doing
I remember
donuts
that
around the
too.
yard.
Donuts at the shop.
Yeah.
He texted me 3 days before the Gambler. 2 messages at once. First was a picture, second one, totaled but still running. I was like, I'm gonna kill him. I opened my phone, the ass end is caved into the window.
And
I
the-
was just like, it's the background on my phone still.
When he hit the tree when it rolled down the hill.
It popped right here. And, like the picture of it folded around the tree. It's my background. Has been since the day it happened. I was like, I really hate you.
To me though, the tape and the ratchet strap just make the car.
It added so much.
Yeah, it made the when
The only thing that bums me out, he had a Lancer wing on the back of it from one of the cheap base models, and I was like, that looks awesome. Yeah, that shattered when it hit the tree.
I was one that took the pictures of him a couple weeks ago at the cabin when he showed up,
Yeah.
and he parked kitty corner to a Lamborghini, I think it was a Murcielago, and every single time someone would walk over and look at the Lambo, they double take at the Volvo and then walk over to the Volvo. Not a single person that saw the Lamborghini and the Volvo cared about the Lamborghini. They would always come over and look at the Volvo and check the Volvo out.
Yeah,
They
the
were
Volvo was fucking awesome.
Yeah, they were. It's what it is.
It's a statement.
Yeah, it was that car was it was such an individual. Like you will never ever see another car or Volvo that was like that one in ever. And it like
Oh no, we did.
Sean's.
We did on our way up.
Oh.
We saw one. There's a silver wagon somewhere between Ithaca and here that is silver where all of his red is, but black where all his black is still. It's a Volvo wagon. It's an older one, like a 90s one, but it looks just like his car. And I told her, I'm like, yo, that should be Nick's new Gambler. Like, I wanted to follow this person and find out who they were and how much they wanted for this piece of crap car.
Speaking of Volvo wagons, you guys see what happened to Sean Auld?
Yeah.
On his way to the
He
car
was
show?
going.
No.
He was at,
Oh, yeah, the wheel, yeah.
Well, here's the funny one about that one. I live in Trumansburg, right up the road from that place, where that was. The girlfriend was coming home on her motorcycle, and she stopped at the house, and she's like, the car show's going on. Looks like one of the car guys is down there. I mean, it's a Volvo wagon with a gambler sticker on it. So we get on the bikes, we run down the road, and there's the Volvo on the freaking on the disc, because when he made it all the way from home and was turning into the car show when the wheel decided to go the other direction, and it dropped.
Speaking of Volvo wagons, we tried harder. You were in the group. I tried harder than anything to donate that Volvo wagon I had to Ryan, but nothing ever came of that. I really wanted to see that thing run. That thing's gone now. Well, it got saved to fix another one.
Sorry. Talking to Nicholas.
awkward silence.
Oh.
Yeah. Everyone was texting.
Did
I
you
had
tell
to
him?
harass him. I know, he says, I was like, are you coming? Oh my gosh, hashtag I'm live.
No, Ed, your Volvo's the best. And I thank you so much for that. You'll see, I gave you a shout out too, but your Volvo's
Honestly, the
amazing.
Stillhouse brings Ed's Volvo up just a little bit more.
Yeah. I love the DeLorean now. That thing was so cool. Oh my god.
Dude, I love everybody at the Gambler.
Yeah.
Because
Jason
everybody
Burkhart's
is
watching.
so sweet.
He's the guy that had that
I
little
was-
tractor.
I was-
never...
Yeah,
That thing
I know
was
Jason.
I've
awesome.
never
was-
been
he was
around
the second
my
person we
people
actually met,
in that
so
quantity
that was cool. He was
before.
with Nick at the
And
fall.
like
Yep.
every
Yeah.
single time we drive by another guy that was broken down, even if he wasn't following us, everyone would
Exactly.
pull over. I've never experienced that much camaraderie in my life. Like
There
It's
are
just-
two automotive
Everyone
groups
is so gracious.
that always
I
have
love
each
it.
other's backs. The gamblers and the derby guys.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because there was
Yes.
a big derby out in Vegas. This guy was going down from Canada, blew his truck up halfway there. There was a shop down the road. He was like, take my truck, get down there, have fun. I'll have your truck fixed when you come back.
yeah.
Never
like,
met the guy before.
I've never
It's
experienced
always
that
the
before in my life.
shit boxes. It's always the people that have shit boxes
We've gotta stick
that
together.
help each other
Yeah.
out.
It's
And it's
just-
amazing. It's the best thing
I
ever.
mean, you use a key word there, shit. We're the guys that always getting shit all over, so we're like,
we all understand.
Yeah, well-
Yeah.
I'll wipe the shit off your shoulders, and then when you got more shit coming back up, I'll wipe it off again. Then you can take
Yeah.
your truck home.
That's what
Hi,
I
Tyler.
drove the daily shit box up here, and I'm like, she's like, oh, we gonna make it? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure if I call one of the guys up there, we'll make it there.
Yeah.
So
You're across New York State,
I had
you
no
know, like
problem
a dozen
driving up
dudes
here.
that'll help you out.
Yeah. it's great.
I love it. I love the Gambler. I love everybody that is involved with the Gambler because everyone is so willing to
Oh, yeah.
throw a helping hand out, and it's not something that you see every day.
Yeah.
It really is not.
And they don't-
I'm from city. I am a city person. I grew up in Annapolis, Maryland. I lived in the city. I lived in Jamaica, Queens, and there is nobody that I've ever met in my entire life that is so helpful and like kind as people that you meet at this event.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And nobody ever asked for anything in return.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've
Just
got
pay it forward.
Like, yeah.
I've gotten random
Exactly.
messages from people that are like after the spring one. Random messages. I don't know what their names are. I'm sorry if you messaged me, but I've had people message me and be like, hey man, it's the weekend. I'm near Binghamton. Are you working on cricket? You want some help? We want to see her at the fall. And I'm like, no, I'm not working on her today, but thanks for the help. But like, it's still the thought that counts.
Yeah.
And I've had numerous people message me and be like, we know you're from Binghamton. I've had people message me and be like, we've driven past your house. We saw the car. Can we
makes you
come and
question
help you
what they're after
somehow?
in real life there if they're driving by your house.
Yeah.
From the earlier discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, for me specifically, it's Last Gambler was my first one that I've actually been able to make it to. I've always had a bunch of pigs and whatnot that I've been trying to get up there, but I always break them or do something stupid to make it so I can't go up.
Within a week.
Yeah. Now, I've got the Pilot, which I'm trying to build up. Honda Pilot Mud Pig project. Look it up on Facebook, like it, share it. And
Funny
so
fact,
now
Mud Cricket was supposed to be a Honda Pilot.
that's
or
awesome.
no, a Honda CRV. My bad. A
And,
CRV. Yeah,
the CRV, I've looked at the CRV are the only parts that aren't interchangeable, which is to me is like that's like their most capable one. What the hell? They're like so for me if I want to find parts, I gotta go look for a minivan. It doesn't make sense, but so right now I'm going through that build and I'm trying to do it as gambler as I can. Basically, I'm dumpster diving. I'm just finding everything. Like, I mean, I don't know if you guys follow the page. I pulled a snowmobile tread that weighs like 75 pounds out of a dumpster at the fire department a week ago. But when you stretch it out, the thing's longer than the Pilot is. And if anybody gets stuck, that tread is gonna help anybody get on any kind of shit they have.
Cut it in half, make it twice.
Well, that's
as
what I'm
long.
thinking.
Yeah.
I want to cut it in half lengthwise so that I can put it over both sides of the vehicle.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, right now all I need on it is a welding, and I've been talking. It's like I just kind of want to run the stock tires. I want to see what this thing will do as stock as I can send it, so that
Wasn't the douche fluid a Honda Pilot?
so that I can prove from there. I don't want to just throw all this money into it and make it
The
this
what?
badass thing if I don't need to.
There's a Honda Pilot labeled as the douche fluid across the back. It had a vape on the back.
Yes.
We
didn't
followed
see
them in
that.
our Hyundai in last fall.
No hate on guys that vape.
Oh,
Nice fail.
yeah, nailed it. Sweet cloud, bro.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah,
the
that's
joke was
that's a
Talking
fun
for
fact.
going
Mud Cricket
with
was
me.
supposed to be a Honda originally, but she wasn't.
No, it didn't happen. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
You know who?
But at least
knows?
I learned that Hyundais are pretty freaking cool.
Well, you can tell a power
no,
stroke with
no.
it.
Man,
You
that-
can pull a power
yours
stroke.
is.
You can pull a Suburban out of a mud hole. You know. Whatever.
Frozen Nuts was a bit of a clusterfuck. Like, we
Frozen-
had great weather leading up to it when we were scouting.
I'm gonna try to make every event, and that's
Can we
gonna be the
also
second
do a
one I'm going
shout-out
to.
for Kevin and Shade for their freaking baby that like
Very
straight
well
up went
behaved.
through the entire.
Yeah.
She hit more waypoints
What?
than most people in the game. Most everybody else.
They
Well,
hit
let's
every
just,
day point- every
let's
checkpoint they
just
want.
say she hit, the baby hit more waypoints than
Than us.
Everybody.
everyone.
Yes,
Everyone.
everyone.
That
That's
child's gonna be a
Kevin.
gambler.
Kevin has but that's Kevin though. He has the most dedicated. Like he is super dedicated.
Oh,
He's OG.
He's
He is.
awesome.
He's
Kevin's
OG.
amazing.
He's OG
Yeah.
and he's gone to the OG.
And you know what?
Yeah.
He stopped by and he definitely helped us out and he asked us if we needed anything. And all I can say is thank you so much. And also, Shade, you're amazing and so's your baby.
And Kevin's the new Chuck
Stupid
Norris.
cute. Stupid
Yes.
cute.
He is.
Tommy, what
And
flavor
the
do you have in your
puppies.
vape?
Huh?
What flavor do you have in your vape?
I don't even know. It was in my van.
Oh. Someone just asked.
Someone
if it smells
asked,
like
yeah.
cotton candy.
Yeah, it smells like dildo, and it's also a flying dick. That's what.
Sweet.
There you go.
Takes all kinds.
Sounds like every vape, right?
Yep, just like a dick.
Smells like a flying douche flute.
Yep, it's a douche flute. I'm okay with it.
I'll say there was definitely there were some simple but awesome builds like OTR, the white XJ that had the Jeep or the horse tail off of it. It was such a simple but bold statement.
I
It was
like
hilarious.
for me, one of my favorites of this, the spring one was the Trailblazer. It was just Meow Mix. That tail he had coming off the back of that SUV was just so badass. Just watch it like Wells Bonson just flopping around with bright orange Meow Mix on the side. There was no decorative. It was just Meow Mix with a big orange tail and then some ears on it.
Even the slightest bump in the tail
Yeah.
was like,
And it's like,
Did anybody see the second meeting where they legitimately put the Meow Mix tail through somebody else's tailgate?
No, I didn't see that.
They tried to fit the tail into somebody else's archway. I don't even know what to call
Windows?
it. No, it wasn't. It was off of their it was right behind the cab of their truck. And they fit the tail right in between it and backed
Like
it
a
out,
roll bar
backed
or
it back
something?
in. And I'm like,
We had that.
really,
we had
guys? I can't say anything. We had a stripper pole attacked to the back of our car, but I mean,
To the front.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
hopefully we get to use at my bachelor party at the Fall Gambler. I'm hoping.
I'm hoping Mud Cricket's ready by then.
Yeah.
We have 3 plans.
If
up
not,
our
we'll figure it
sleeves.
out.
I'm not saying what, but Mud Cricket will be there one way or another. But the last one's a bit extreme. but we're hoping we can just fix her.
Triple A.
If not in spirit.
No, I have, there's a
Easy.
select few people.
It's gonna
I think,
happen.
It gonna happen.
Tyler
It's
knows.
It gonna happen.
Nick knows, and I think that's about it. About my last-ditch effort to get
Works
Mud
like
Cricket to
one.
run right, so
That's so mean. JK.
we'll see what happens.
You basically
I
just
guess.
answered CJ's question. He asked if Cricket was here. No, they brought the Civic because Cricket's dead currently.
Yeah.
Cricket almost came here. We were gonna do a last-ditch effort last night, and try to fix it because her entire front end's ripped apart in our driveway.
Not even
But-
in the driveway, in the yard.
In the yard. But we decided to go fishing last night instead, so my Civic's here. Yeah.
I will say though that when the Civic drove by, I heard the fart can, and I was like, "Oh, there's Talon." And then I saw you hit the brakes and back up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that definitely is Talon."
If it doesn't have an exhaust on it, it's probably mine. If it's loud.
Well, so it's not a fart can; it's just loud then.
Well, there's a fart can on it, but
It's not hooked up.
The flex pipe underneath the car is probably not there. We'll just leave it at that.
Our driveway is not so nice.
Our driveway's not so nice.
It's not
and-
forgiving.
Yeah.
I
It
was
just
gonna say,
rips any exhaust off that's not.
Well,
My
Or
driveway's
just
dirt too.
crazy.
Everything sinks. I've got where I park. I park in trenches because of just parking there repeatedly. It's terrible.
I will give people hope, but we did find that Mud Cricket. We did get a semi-proper computer that's better than the Kia one.
Yep.
We've replaced numerous sensors. We found out that the thermostat's stuck closed, which is probably why it's overheating. The radiator's plugged, and the 2 camshaft position sensors are bad. So we do have all of them. They are replaced. The battery's currently dead, and the radiator's currently out of it. But I mean, I guess we'll keep you updated. If it tomorrow, like we have the parts now, and I was gonna fix it today, but we're gonna do it tomorrow, and we'll see. She will be there one way or the other, as Cricket somehow. We
Toad or not toad? It
no
will be there.
no. She's driving. She's gonna drive
What's
there.
the award?
Whatever it takes. We've already talked to
Exactly.
Tyler about that, which I don't want to win my own award, but
Yeah.
I'm really hoping
It's
I
like-
don't win my own award.
I know the gambler. Most of the gambler trophies are really just like, oh, it's embarrassing. Oh, that's also embarrassing.
I don't want the whatever it takes award, but somebody else can have it. I really want Cricket to last this time.
I said,
Please.
Matt Wan said you're not allowed to take the Civic out in the mud field out back. They just planted it too, so he'd probably get shot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no, the Civic doesn't go. Those tires on that Civic wouldn't go anywhere. I'd probably get stuck on wet grass.
I hit some mud at Kirby's last weekend with the work van, and then as I'm barreling out covered in mud, they had at Kirby's compound in Palmyra, New York. Just to drop it, like, share, follow, whatever. As I was pulling out, there was a state trooper and a sheriff sitting there. It's because some kid stole his mom's Jeep Compass
Ooh.
and went and brought it to Kirby's, and he fucking buried it. Like, buried it. So, and he got pulled out, things totaled and, like, covered in mud and whatnot. And then, so he's trying to hide throughout the crowd with the very obvious sky blue Jeep Compass in there. So the state troopers and everyone were looking for him. I don't know how it worked out, but I'm sure it didn't work out too good for him.
Probably got his ass chewed when he got home.
Oh, yeah.
It's better than getting arrested.
Yeah, but the state trooper, like, when I pulled out, the trooper was like, I am you real bad, and I was like, and my van's like, I mean, you saw the work van, covered in mud, and then I was like, oh, hey, bud.
Oh yeah, is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's great.
Out of all the vehicles I've owned, Mud Cricket
Oh, that.
has not been pulled over.
So,
All my dailies, every single one of my
We
dailies
need to
gets pulled
stop
over.
talking about this. This is
2019 Michelin America Gambler 500 said they are going to have their event July 5th, 6th, and 7th, and he told us to come out, sort of neighbors. I suppose.
Where's that event, though?
Yeah,
Michigan.
if you could tell us where.
Yeah,
in
tell us
Michigan,
where that event is.
Because Michigan's not exactly small.
I don't think Mud Cricket will make it to that because I think we are on vacation that weekend.
Also trying not to get shot.
If Mud Cricket runs, maybe you'll have a guest appearance. I don't know yet.
Pause. How far is it from Harbor Springs, Michigan? That's northern.
Oh, sorry. It's a female that runs that page. My bad. I'm just used to dealing with guys that set up the gambler pages.
Oh.
That's kind of awesome.
That is awesome.
Female run gambler?
Maybe it's
is
female run
it for
gambler.
me?
You can drive cricket.
Yeah.
Is it for me?
You want to drive cricket?
If you want to put the cricket back together and send it, go for it.
No, I'll put it back together.
America!
Starts in St. Helens.
Innovation.
Where?
Starts in St. Helens.
We're progressive.
I'm geographically challenged. You just have to tell me how far it is from Harbor Springs, which is northern.
She still thinks where she left from originally.
Yes. Welcome to Binghamton, New York.
Fargnoli. I wish I wasn't at work.
We're in Canandaigua.
Don't worry, we've only talked about you for about 40 minutes.
Yeah, we love your car. Get it running. Don't burn it to the ground again.
Like
How about
Alec
that?
did with his Bronco in Maine.
Everybody keeps burning their cars up.
Yeah, let's not... Fire's not good for gamblers.
Can't
Don't
even
do
listen.
that.
Fire's not good for any
Can't
fire.
even listen right now. Aw.
Oh, poor Nick.
What's Nick doing? Passing out?
No, he's at work.
He works at the
He can't
Outback. I
listen
think it's
to it.
Outback Steakhouse down by us.
Oh, cannoli?
Yeah.
Put headphones in.
Oh, that Nick.
Or a headphone and
See, I
kind of listen.
know so many Nicks now that it's
Nick
like, oh, what
cannoli.
Nick?
Oh, Nick cannoli.
You gotta go buy cars anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Did you-
easier.
The golf dude.
The
The
golf
lifted-
dude.
Yeah.
God, I wish I
fourth
saw
right.
that car.
The burned up golf.
I create nicknames for everybody so I can remember who they are. Conrad has forever, since the very first moment I saw him, was
James Franco.
James Franco.
What?
I don't know.
He doesn't look anything like
I
Franco.
don't know.
Franco doesn't have a
Excuse me.
mustache.
Excuse me, James Franco did have a mustache. Pineapple Express. Thank you.
I think I've seen Nick without a mustache once.
I
Yeah,
haven't
like,
seen him without a
usually he
mustache.
just has the
Pineapple
big
Express.
curls.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
yeah,
End
like,
of discussion.
Nick's all like Snidely Whiplash
just-
from like the old cartoon.
I will Google it.
Oh,
I will
boy.
Google it. Do not make me pull out Google.
1 hour 44 north from the start, slightly to the west.
So we're
That's
you're
not
about 2
bad.
hours.
Alright, so we still have no
If
idea what the
Cricket
hell that
runs,
is,
we
but
can-
thank you.
If Mud Cricket runs,
Come help us crash the Lemons rally next week. We're driving to Maine. Dude, I've made that trip. It's so fucking miserable.
You wanted to do lemon.
I don't have a car for lemons.
Lemons, they charge a lot of money.
Yeah.
for
Because
extra
we were
fees.
going to do the
If they
lemons
fixed
down at
up the
Watkins
red.
Glen.
What is this that I saw with the OG Gambler,
do
where
that.
they're like charging like, I
Not
mean,
that-
they're
not this
basically
trip.
like limiting spots to run for the Gambler
Well,
too.
no, it's because fucking Gambler Town, that's a limited space. So they have to charge
They were charging
people
for
spots.
camping.
Yeah.
Is what they were charging for.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking like they were limiting cars.
No.
No.
They wanted,
That's what it seemed like. That's what
No,
it seemed
they-
like on the posting.
No, yeah. If you read it, it's because they're running out of space for people. So they're actually charging for camping. Trailers are getting.
So if
parked
we
up
ever
the
do that,
road.
we got to make sure we're the first ones there.
I
I
want.
do.
I want to make the OG next year.
I
do
want to
have
go
a
to the OG
question.
too.
the city that you mentioned, what one was it?
Harbor Springs.
It's one of the checkpoints.
Oh!
Yes.
You can meet them partway through.
Perfect. That's awesome. That's
So
amazing.
if Mud Cricket runs, we will use our vacation time to come out to your Gambler. I'm not holding my breath on that.
Heavy if.
Mud
But it
Cricket.
would be awesome.
That's a heavy if, and Mud Cricket likes breaking, and I don't want to break that far away from my house.
From people you don't know, yeah.
New York, you
I
can
have,
get
I
a
have
ride
a
home.
cottage there, so it makes.
Can someone trailer my car back to Binghamton, New York, if I happen to break it, which is probably a
I would
guarantee?
follow you in my beater.
Okay.
We're running.
What do
free,
you
just
got?
meeting up with the guys.
No, I'm currently in the search of a beater car.
There you go. Anybody
Oh,
who's selling
yeah.
a beater car? Someone's in search of a beater car for the next
I
couple
have been
months.
in
time
the
being.
process of looking for a beater car. I like Saturns for some strange reason.
Those
Yeah,
lifted
why?
Saturns are so
no,
good.
No, I don't care.
It blows my
I
mind.
just want a grandma car. I legitimately want a grandma car
Well,
that will get me from point A to point B. I don't care how many
If I
miles it
hadn't
is.
just sold the Mazda 6, I'd have sold you that.
I know someone's selling a yard ass.
Yeah, no, you don't want yard
What is
ass.
a yard?
CJ.
I don't even like the name of
Toyota
it.
Yaris.
No front end.
I don't like the name of that.
No
at
hatch
all.
either.
Yeah,
back
no.
seats.
Oh yeah, no hats because he's using it for his
no,
truck.
I need it. I don't care if
Or
it's
headlights
two-door.
right now.
I just want something that
Radiator
I could like
support.
possibly strap a car seat in the back to.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Serious invite.
Michigan, yeah, you're serious. I'm serious too. If I can get it running, maybe I'll use my vacation time to come out to your Gambler. I'm not holding my breath.
We'll
but
figure it out. Maybe we'll see.
Maybe
We'll see.
maybe we've got other cars.
I'm
Maybe we'll just use it as a
considering.
vacation time and send one of the other Hondas I have sitting in my driveway.
I'm sure your neighbors
That'd
would
be
like
cool.
having one less car in your driveway.
Yeah,
so.
'cause it's
I'm pretty
the way I drive, it's not gonna make it home.
I'm pretty
Whatever
sure with
it
the
is.
bougie neighborhood that this cottage is in, they will love us.
Can we make that a checkpoint?
No.
Let's make her house a check.
Talon, don't kid yourself. Mud Cricket will drive back under its own power, whatever it takes. Ha!
Oh, and also, I'd like to throw this in
Tyler,
there.
you're right. I will drive it home,
Yep.
but I'll be really upset.
55
fixing
miles
it.
an hour.
Yeah, 55 miles an hour the whole way home.
Speaking of Tyler, try to find as
Third
many
time.
breweries as you can for checkpoints. Also, that was
They had a couple.
there was a great stop, and then any of the local businesses that we stopped
love
at,
the
they
car
were all
running.
very happy to see all of us.
And confused.
That-
The old converted church.
Yeah, that store.
Those guys were super chill.
They gave me like 40 magnet. I mean, they gave me like a stack of magnets when I asked them for them, and I threw those magnets all over every single car we passed by or
I
anybody.
put one on my
Somebody's
truck
gonna
and
go
it
in that
was
mud pit I got Mud Cricket stuck in,
And find a magnet.
and they're gonna get stuck with a Gary's You Pull It magnet.
That's
It
amazing.
came off the back or the front of my car.
I found a spam beer koozie.
Toto, no excuses.
Spam?
Yes.
Oh,
Bring
sweet.
the
Dude,
mud
that's
cricket.
a keeper, though.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh boy.
How's about a 99 Malibu? Needs a fuel pump and fuel line.
There you go. We'll hit you up after this. This isn't about her buying a car
That'd
right
be a
now.
good
No.
dirty car.
No.
This is not a sales.
Yeah,
pitch.
we'll hit you up
This
after
isn't a
this.
sales pitch. This is just we have 6 cars and she refuses to drive any of them, so she wants something different.
Listen, all of them need work. All of them need work and or are not functional for work, and he wants to use them as maybe a derby car or a dirt track car. So don't let him fool you.
Oh,
Thank you.
speaking
So
of,
they
track
run and drive.
racing,
What's
that
more to that?
36-hour enduro.
I would love to do
You
that.
might have to
I
do
have
that, but you're
I
not
have-
allowed to drive till the last hour.
You're talking about that. You're talking about that.
The big one out in Ohio.
Oh man,
I do have a
wish we could do
hatchback
that.
Civic that would be really
There's
good
so
for
many
that.
rules and regulations for that though.
Not.
Why do we need a roll cage? Why do we need a roll cage? Are they crashing into
Dude,
each
I
other
would
and all that other
literally-
Yeah, I
bullshit?
want to know
Derby
if this is
cage.
like a demo race
No.
or if we're actually like racing.
It's racing. It's
Yeah, so-
basically like the Lemons Rally, but with
Because if I'm gonna put like a Lexan or whatever
Yeah,
plastic
Lexan
window
glass
in my car,
and a
and
5
I'm gonna take the back
like,
hatch out
harness
of it,
and
and
all
I'm gonna
that.
put a roll cage in it, and I'm gonna do all this stuff. I want to be able to put all my stuff back in it because this is a car that is actually really really nice and drive it. So I don't want anybody crashing into me.
So let's get
But it is
something
only
that's a little
$200
less
car.
nice.
So
So yeah, I want to say they were
$200.
talking about getting a couple of Cavaliers to do it.
That'd be fun.
And then one of my buddies was like, "No, let's bring a car of Lumina, or the big police package Crown Vic in my backyard." I was like, "Yeah, that'd be cool."
Yeah. Let's do something.
She can
Let's
run
go
my
out to
Jeep.
that.
Well,
That'll
with
prove it.
I mean, you being the
What was it?
Matt Wan said you can take the Jeep if you
Where?
To the
I believe
Gambler,
that's
I
for
think.
Michigan.
Yeah, that's for Michigan.
Oh, what?
what?
That'd be nuts.
That'd be insane.
Because
The
I've
one-
seen that thing go down the road and it's just
The one that just
I would
the
follow
one that
you
just
in the
came back from
Civic.
Canada.
yeah.
Is it?
Take it. You won't make it back, but it'll be awesome.
You won't make it back,
Wait, do you have AAA?
I was like,
but- Ooh, I'm missing your recycling.
Hey, I know. My
Recycling's
AAA
over
will
there.
cover 200 miles.
Oh, that has recycling in it too.
no, those are just limited edition cans. and shit.
Alright,
My bad. I'm trying to get rid of empties.
Trashy
over here.
place.
listen.
I'm ruining
you're-
Chad's whole entire garage.
Oh, don't worry. This part was built over dirt for some reason, so the boards are already.
I just
getting
wanted a
fucked.
PBR
Listen, you
that
just
Tommy
like to
bought me.
ruin things.
I was worried it was going to be hotter
Is
than
it
balls in
Friday?
here, but it's really
Not bad.
comfortable in here. Yeah,
I
it's
ruined
not
everything.
bad.
It's getting
That's why the
it's
Death
getting
Fan was
dark
like that.
out. It's a Friday or
Saturday
it's a night. It's nighttime. So I'm gonna ruin
That's-
something.
that's why
I can't
I
have my
asked if it
car to
was
ruin.
Friday.
So
I asked if it was Friday night, because I mean,
yeah.
Ha, ha.
Okay.
Jab, jab.
I know.
Jab, jab.
No, listen, this car sits in my driveway, okay? And she walks outside at least like 6 times a day, and I get a jab every time about the big green booger sitting in the driveway. Something about the gambler, or it needs to run, or I'm so mad you broke my car, or whatever. So, because she calls it her car, so.
Speaking of breaking the car and gambling it, during intermission you said you had a story.
Oh, about
Oh.
Catherine?
About peeing.
Oh, yeah. So apparently, if you're on the winter frozen nuts gambler and you don't want to get too cold, the best
Chapped
thing to do
lips,
is to
they're not
dump out
fun.
my washer fluid
let's be honest.
and
Nobody wants
cut
chapped
the-
lips.
cut the jug and
Just
pee in it
Bring
in
an
the
extra Gatorade
car.
bottle next time.
No,
So-
it worked great for washer fluid. Washer fluid was the best ordeal because you can get the right squat going in those seats. It was perfect.
No holds
It was-
bar over here, apparently.
Well, I was just.
Did you
being
cut the
honest.
handle off of the jug too?
Yeah, she did.
No,
Oh,
no,
she.
no. The handle was there.
Oh.
Just the whole front end was gone.
Yeah,
You
no,
did the
she
right
she
spot,
left the handle,
but
but
if
like
you sit
cut it,
too
you know,
long,
like a
it will
scooper.
cut your
Yeah.
ass. It will cut your ass, and it's not okay. I'm pretty sure I had paper cuts.
She refused,
Plastic cuts.
legitimately refused
I would
from
not get out of
Kevin's
the car.
house until we got back to Kevin's house to get out of the car, other than to stop at some bar
It was cold.
after we gave everybody a ride
Well,
because cars were broken.
No, after we went by the
There
two
was mad people
overbuilt
in the
XJ
car.
or
Listen,
two
I'm the
overbuilt
only
Jeeps.
chick.
Yeah.
I
She
was
was
the
out of it for
only
like
chick.
30 seconds.
Yeah, and she did get out at the gas station.
I'm
Snacks,
allergic to
so.
winter. I'm
Well,
allergic.
they have those new cups that you can like put down, and
This
they
is
like got a
yours.
fountain
We're
on it,
getting
so
on a
you can like
tangent now.
Listen.
you can pee like
No.
a dude.
Any
I
of you
would
female
not.
gamblers out
We
there?
were
I would
tracking
not
nicely
do
down
the
the road,
shoeless.
then we
You
found
know
some little
why?
tangent.
Yeah,
that's
we
just going
did.
down
That just
slowly.
Yeah.
screams for a UTI.
My
That's
cover
what
photo used to be my name in
What are we
cursive
talking
that I wrote in
about?
the snow.
Alright,
No.
let's like
Alright.
veer
Okay,
back
let's try to
on
get back
track
to the
here.
trail here.
Yeah.
See, you asked for it. You asked for the story.
We're not in cricket, we don't go off the trail, we stay on the trail.
Exactly.
We don't have to stay on the road, but stay on
Yeah.
the trail, semi.
What you
Chap
said.
lips, chap lips, chap lips.
Nice, Tommy. Classy.
Alright,
Real classy.
anyways.
Always.
You're a classy broad, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we froze at some point.
My phone died. It was at 65%, going live kills it in about, usually, well, I think we hit 30 minutes on the live stream.
This has been quite an episode.
Yeah.
This is a
Phone's dead.
Everybody heard chap
Do you
lips
want to go
now.
live
Yeah,
on
they're
my
like, oh,
phone,
we're
or
out.
you want to go live on
No,
his
we're
phone?
good.
Or? Okay.
Everybody heard
It's
chap
just a
lips,
live
and that was the
feed,
end
yeah.
of it.
Okay,
Nito
so
Toledo.
we'll... Alright, so we're just going to finish up on the uploaded one then.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think we-
Is this the longest live ever?
ours was the last one I was on was like an hour and a half. This one's probably pushed a little longer.
Yeah,
I
we're
would say.
Well, as far as filming, I think-
Well, you know what it is? I feel like it's because we haven't stopped talking.
Yeah.
But
I don't
was
think we've
like-
hit any...
Yeah,
we've
this
hit
one's-
none of your questions.
It's
You want
definitely been the most
questions?
fluent. We
Yeah.
didn't
Alright.
even
No.
bother looking at the list
Yeah,
this time.
we
It's just been so
wanna
We did the
fluent.
guest intro, and then it just kind of
Yeah,
took off and went on its
Yeah,
own.
we just went off on our own.
Well,
Yeah,
it's because
I think we've gone over the
that's what I was saying.
the
talked
better
too
part of the
much.
history.
Give me
Oh,
that
we got
list.
Talon. Like we got
Give me
enough
that list.
stories.
No, we don't have to go through.
Oh,
it.
okay. Alright, never mind.
I'll say that.
he's just like, listen, you guys talk too much. We're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you talk too much. Like, it's good when there's a group that has good energy and can continue talking. Like when
Yeah.
I don't want to be mean,
Oh.
but when Kevin and them were here, everybody was just real quiet, and it was kind of like just kept having awkward silences. Whereas this, it's been
Yeah, those cricket chirps.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Bam, 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 bam.
Ah, dude.
Bam, bam.
I wish we could do like a 2-hour-long segment of just like random gamblers at one point.
Just get everybody up here.
Well, the problem is with the
I feel
gambler.
like that would be
You
a
love it,
headache
right?
I don't want.
The biggest problem was with the
In
gambler is
theory.
like doing a podcast is there's no Wi-Fi up there. So
Yeah.
if we were to do it, we're limited
You're
to like
recording.
20 minutes of before our phone dies,
I can-
or we're
No,
limited
or
on.
just record
on the
it.
Yeah, it's
tablet.
just
I
crappy.
can record like 2 hours, and then it starts getting close to full.
Dude, if you
Yeah.
walked by each campsite and like talked to them for like 10 minutes.
Just-
yeah,
about, like,
that's a
updates-
good idea.
Microphone and camera on a stick. Just
Yeah.
walk up,
No,
talk to
yeah,
everybody.
that's a great
Nope.
idea, dude.
It's not on a stick. It's on the end of a dildo. It's the gambler.
Speaking to the dildo.
I will hold it.
That would be awesome.
And then while
That
they're
would be
talking,
great.
I'll like jab them in the mouth a couple times too.
Yeah, that's not
The
a bad
only thing-
idea.
Off the charger, that doesn't last long enough to walk around base camp. I'd get through like 3 people
That's
in
why
a
you
day.
drive around with
I'll
an
bring you-
inverter in the
Yeah,
car.
I'll bring you a jump pack. I got a jump pack you plug into that'll
Oh.
power that thing.
Laptops
Well,
equal
it's got a
crap
regular
tops.
one,
They do not last
It's
for
actually
shit.
a tablet with a little laptop attachment, but it works.
Oh.
Well, no, like you use your phone, you record segments, and then you bind them all together.
I'm not good with the whole editing shit together. That's why I usually
That's
just
why you have an IT tech guy right
Yeah,
there.
there you
Boom.
go.
What?
That would be a great idea though, to go around like the camp and like interview everybody, because I know there's a bunch of builds that everybody likes to follow and everyone likes
That was
their
the
own
question I
different
wanted
builds.
to ask. It's like, did you walk around and meet everyone there?
We did a
Because
good
there was
walk
a
around.
fuck ton of people
The
there.
F1 shitty did damn good, even though he fucking tacoed. It was a
The F1
damn
like
good
that-
build.
Did you meet everybody there?
Yeah, that's something I would love
I
to do
walked
on
around
my
and I
own
talked to
time.
most of the people.
So if
Yeah.
you did it as
I
a
didn't
video,
meet, like there was a bunch of young kids.
Yeah,
there.
there were. I'm an old man. Considering
Well,
I'm
no,
like
they-
I'm gonna
they
be
were, like,
33 this year,
16,
so
there was,
like
like,
compared to
dudes
everyone
that were,
else,
like,
there was a
16.
lot of
That
young
one
ones.
kid in the Mike Myers mask. was a little unnerving.
Well, yeah, I mean, there
Yeah,
wasn't. Yeah, well, that was like a
he was
12-year-old.
there
That guy brought his kids there, so it was like, all right, I'm gonna stay away from that guy, so
No.
I do not go to jail this weekend.
It wasn't. I don't think it was one of their kids because he
No,
was
it
there
was.
with Wands, Matt
No.
Wands. So I want to say it was maybe a younger sibling of either him or his
It might have been,
girlfriend.
it might have been her brother or something like that. But that kid was
I
like,
don't see a problem with any
12
Bring
years old.
everybody. Who
Yeah.
cares? It's the gambler,
who
dude.
cares?
At the
But-
same time, though, it's
At the
a
same
lot
time-
of drunk people.
Oh no,
Yeah, we're adulting.
I wasn't.
Let us
I know.
adult.
Not that time.
So
I was
I
trying to
say-
stay very
I say
sober to fix my own car.
preteen- I say preteen to up. I mean,
I know that. I
within
think the OG
reason.
has a
Within reason,
age
if
limit
it's not
on
going
it.
to
Also,
roll,
OG's
I do-
like 21 and over.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they don't want a bunch of drunk underage people.
Yeah.
but
Understandable.
what I'm saying is
That
like
is
it's more so like if they're moldable, don't bring them. If they're
Yeah.
like 4 or 5, don't bring them. Just because you don't
I would
really.
say like 15,
I wouldn't trust my
16
kid.
No, but
I
Kevin and Shade, like that's a.
No, because
would-
they can't far away from all of the bullshit.
Yeah.
They can't
Yeah.
far away. They know what the fuck they're
Kevin's
doing.
also a very responsible person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so is Shade. Shade
Oh,
will
yeah, both of
stay
them.
with the
Yeah,
kid
both of
regardless.
them.
If she needs help, she says, "Baby, we need it. You need it. You need it."
Man, that neon was also
You know?
badass too. That his neon that they had at the Meow
The
Mix.
His
orange
neon.
one?
Wait, are
Orange
we
Blast
recording?
is
Yeah.
always.
now?
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
recording.
Oh wow. Okay, but I mean,
His neon's awesome. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like for me being a mom, I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I wouldn't bring her just because I know at that age they like to make stories and create things that aren't great. I would kind of I keep her home because it's
I don't think
safer
we had a
that way.
problem with it. though.
Perspective.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
It's
I don't,
safer
I don't
that
think we
way.
had a problem
It is
with
too, just in case obviously we're going off trail, and the car has a battery in the fucking back seat. It's
Oh,
not the
stop.
greatest.
At Kirby's last weekend, there were kids.
You know,
there were so many
God
kids that were
forbid
like
something
freaking out when their
actually
parents
happened.
tried to bring them out into the mud because of the throwing around and the it's you like everyone's like, oh, I'll bring my kids, but once you actually throw them out onto the trails and they start getting tossed around,
Yeah.
they're not used to getting beat up on those
Yeah,
trails.
but
They
with
don't
the
know
gambler,
what
with
they're
the
doing.
gambler, you don't know if they're wine touring or not.
Yeah.
As
So just,
awful as it sounds,
I don't
God
know.
forbid something actually happened.
Yeah, then you're in the middle of nowhere and
You're
it's
in the
terrible.
middle of nowhere. You have no service, and I mean, obviously, the gambler is so fucking world renowned, and like everybody there is so nice. We would find help
Yeah.
somewhere. There's always somebody behind you.
I gave out like
There's always
1,000
somebody around
Band-Aids over the weekend of random dudes, and like I was
We
giving out
figure it
alcohol
out,
wipes and
but-
everything.
Oh,
It was crazy.
the
What
first
I'm
gambler
saying
we
is,
went
I
to,
feel
somebody
like
was
it's more
pouring
so,
hydrogen
like-
peroxide in my ear because somebody packed mud in my ear.
Yeah, we walked to base camp, and I figured out we
Yeah.
needed hydrogen peroxide
That
and
was
all that
insane.
jazz. And
But back on track, I think that you should walk at the fall. You should walk around with like a camera, because like personally, I mean obviously this year I'm gonna do it. Maybe I'll walk with you.
Yeah.
But I wanted to walk around and like I saw so many great builds
Oh yeah.
left and right on the gambler page. I saw so many great builds that I wanted to go talk to the people and be like, "Yo, I saw your build. Like, what are you actually doing here?" Like I thought that was so cool. So I wanted to like talk to everybody, and I understand like it's my fault. I broke my own shit, and I was stuck for the weekend fixing it. But I would have loved to do that, and the upcoming event, I'm gonna do that because I am not gonna take my car out. But I think that would be a great thing for you with the podcast to go around and talk to people and say like, you know, just a quick interview of anybody that's willing to.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to go to everybody, but
like, hey, you're new here. I haven't seen
Yeah,
you.
I can't remember
or
her
like the
name.
What's
big
your team
builds that
name
people see
and
online.
so
Like
forth.
if you posted something on Facebook, let's get a follow up of this, or let's get a follow up of your story. Let's you made it here. I think that'd be awesome.
I want to say
I
her
would
name's like
love to
Katie or
watch that.
Caitlin or something like that. She was riding shotgun in that tan Samurai on those big ass
The
tires. It
Samurai
was-
on
yeah,
like 35.
yeah. Oh my god.
Hell yeah, shout out. to that
Oh,
name.
I would have loved to go
Dude.
around and do a full build review on
fun
that
thing-
thing. Oh my god.
That was probably the smallest engine out on the trails.
Yeah.
Those came with like
It
a
was the most
1.3.
capable.
Yeah.
The smallest vehicle, dude was like 6'8". He got out of it and I was like,
Yeah.
how do you fit in there?
Yeah.
You're tall.
What are you doing, bud? Hey, hello.
Like, the gearing in that had to be pretty high too. Because big tires, tiny engine doesn't usually mix.
He wasn't too thrilled about running 55 on the road, though. I think his
Oh,
top
yeah.
speed is about 45.
Oh yeah.
45, that's wide open.
Yeah, when he was going with us to Death Truck on Saturday at 29,
Yeah, 29A.
he didn't really want to go fast at 45.
See, that's my one thing with the Gambler that no matter what happens to Mud Cricket, I mean, I don't want to get into that, but whatever happens to her and whatever we do to her,
Whatever it takes, babe.
I really want to hold true to the whole, like, we drive it there, we drive it home kind of thing. I don't think...
Because I knew it was going to break.
Yeah. I mean, I
I've
should have
done-
known. But I would rather not get the truck and trailer out and trailer it there. I'd rather take the whole experience. So, I mean, I guess...
We worked really hard to get her on the road.
Yeah, we did.
We worked really hard to get her on the road. We got her on the road, and by a whim and a prayer, we actually got our inspection done. Whim and a prayer.
Oh, the inspection
Literally
was
on
amazing.
our way there, we stopped, got our
That's
sticker.
why we didn't meet up with you guys.
Oh, okay.
We had to take a detour and get the inspection done because I literally left the code reader on the car and the code reader like shut off. It was being weird. And
I was the one that said, keep the 10-day and we'll go back.
Yeah, which would have been horrible. But we left the code reader on.
Eat
Something
my
happened
foot.
to the code reader. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell where the monitors were
Foot
at.
and mouth for sure.
And I was like, when I hit a quarter tank, we literally drove around like Broome and Shenango County. And I was like, when I hit a quarter tank, we're gonna pull in, and the safety inspection was done. So if it's just emissions, if it passes, it passes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And somehow it passed. I have no idea how, but
Timing.
yeah, something. And the check engine light didn't come on. The check engine light never came on.
Which was the part that made you so mad.
Yeah,
You were
the
like,
check engine
just
light.
throw me a code. Give me a single code for what I need. Somebody
Yeah.
just give me a code.
The check engine light never
You're
came
like,
on except for when you would crank it, and then the check engine light would come on for a minute, and then it'd
And
go
it'd go away.
off, which was probably the completely fried computer that was in it. But,
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
Or the computer that wasn't.
We
meant
did
for
get
the car.
home and we got a crankshaft and a camshaft code.
I mean,
So-
even with the different computer, the light didn't come on.
No, we didn't have a check. We drove it to whatever 180 miles,
With a different,
With a different
completely
computer.
different car.
running the car.
Like,
And
Like,
all the monitors set on a Kia computer, a Kia Sorento computer. All the monitors were completely set, and I was literally madder than shit because the car wouldn't do over like 55, 60.
we had
and it
the
was
code reader
overheating.
plugged in the entire time, just waiting.
Yeah. All
Waiting.
monitors set on a Kia computer. I have no idea how. So if you have a Hyundai Santa Fe, run a Kia computer. You're fine. You'll
We've
pass
got a
inspection.
backup. We have a backup.
Yeah, we do.
Color.
We have two. We have two backups.
I'm interested as to how the new Teleroot computer will work. They're claiming it's very capable. We should find out.
No.
The Teleroot, the new Kia, their off-road SUV that they have that comes with a snorkel and all this other bullshit on it.
You buy me one and I'll put it in my car.
It probably won't be that long until someone wrecks one. I mean, they're claiming it's
Probably
off-road.
won't
Some dude's gonna bury it somewhere and total it.
That's like the funny thing. The new
You just point at yourself.
Yeah.
the Jeep Renegades that are trail rated. No, they come with Continental stock. You're going through a fucking puddle and probably getting stuck.
You're puddle jumping.
My Jeep's a pickup truck. Buried, done, junkyard.
We saw some Jeep pickup trucks on the way up here.
Gladiators.
Yeah, those things are cool.
A couple sitting over at the dealership.
Yeah,
I would
they
never
have
buy
Mount
one
Henrietta too.
because the new Jeeps are super unreliable. No offense.
I like
had-
the older Jeep
Yeah.
trucks. Those are
Those are
cool.
nice. We had one come in for a picture inspection the other day. They're not bad looking,
I know they're not bad looking,
but
but
apparently they can't tow for shit.
They have no
They have a-
horsepower.
They
They're
have a minivan motor.
crap. Yeah,
what motors in them?
they're terrible.
3.8 or whatever's in the new minivans.
Okay, yeah.
Because I saw one and I was like, that's kind of stupid. And then, if they're anything like the new Wranglers, the alternator's backwards.
Yep. They will be badass when some dude finally diesel
That'll be
swaps
fun.
it. When some dude diesel swaps the new ones, then they will be
When
badass.
you look in, like when you
They'll
pop the
build
hood on
one.
a new Wrangler, if you look, the alternator's actually on there backwards.
Why?
I don't know. Because I looked at one day and I was
Packaging.
like, what the fuck?
Just how they made it fit, probably.
I haven't seen that.
It's kind of
I
dumb.
mean, that
Can't
wasn't
say I
even.
looked at one.
I mean, it's an American car company. They're shoot first, ask
They're owned
questions
by-
later.
they're owned
Yeah.
by-
Yeah.
They're Fiats.
I worked
Yeah.
for GM when all that recall crap went down. That was
Ooh.
insane. That was the craziest thing ever done. We were doing freaking Chevy Cruise axles and airbags and ignitions and everything
Dude, I
else.
still got the airbag recall on my car.
I still get
I'm just too lazy to
the
go get the
Honda?
parts.
I've got one on my Honda.
Nice. We
Yeah,
still
the
get the
Takata
notice for
recall?
the Chevy recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
My
but
airbag light's on too.
as long as you
Yeah,
guys don't
that's
crash it, who gives a shit?
Yeah, whoever's riding shotgun when I crash getting a claymore to the face apparently.
We're
man.
gamblers. We
Mine's
pull
not
those
gonna go off
fuses.
because my light's on, so something's fucked up.
I still get the recall notices, or the girlfriend gets the recall notices for her Chevy Impala that was scrapped 3 years ago.
You want to know something great? We got a recall notice on the Mud Cricket at the last inspection.
You really should take it. And
I
be like,
should. I told her that. Mud Cricket, and the best part is, it was the part that was bad when we first bought Mud Cricket before the
Oh
Gambler.
God!
That's
The
That's
rear
bitter.
control arms
Bitter.
may rot out,
Yeah.
and the rear
Oh,
springs
yeah. Did
may
you feel
fall
that?
through your control arm. I found that out on a step up at somebody's dirt bike track before I even painted it. When I first got it running and just threw tires on it, and then launched it, and found out that the rear control arms just blew completely out of it. But yeah, we have a recall for it, so we've been discussing. Once it runs right, maybe we'll take it down and see what they say about giving us some new rear control arms.
They're gonna look at it and go, like, "What the fuck? Get out of
They're
here!"
gonna be like, "What did you do to this?
We made it
Where's
better.
the right computer?"
They're gonna
That's
ask me why the rear control arms are welded in. Why everything's welded on it and why there's a plate holding the spring in.
I'd say that's a good hidden camera episode.
That'd be
Oh,
That would be great. You
like
pull it
straight
into...
up, like looking through the window.
Oh, I'll make sure I call ahead and just pull it right into their main bay. Be like, hey guys, you got a recall on this? They're gonna be like, get the fuck out. Not
Wait,
doing
did your
it.
buddy do the recall?
No,
No.
that's gotta be a Hyundai dealer.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're in like 2 hours here. This was a
Yeah, I
damn
was
good
gonna say,
episode,
this
guys.
Is
What are we at?
insane.
1 hour.
Lots of good
35.
conversating.
You have to edit it down,
No.
Nope.
chop her apart.
Send it.
Oh.
Yep, just send
Send
it.
it.
Just like Gamber
Oh.
style.
That's what I
You
do
don't
every
edit.
episode.
Unedited.
I just don't edit. I just upload it and it
Yep.
goes.
If some dude falls out of the chair and makes an ass of himself,
It
it's
goes.
going online.
Oh, that would have to stay.
Oh yeah.
That would, yeah, that would be.
It wouldn't
great.
fall out of this chair.
Maybe you can pull the handle.
Cavalier chair.
Wear
maybe.
the seatbelts,
That
Oh.
was
man.
lines.
What am I
That might
supposed
fall
to do?
out. I gotta adjust here. Uh-oh. There we go. Alright.
Wear the seatbelt.
That's where I should be.
I'll get a 5-point harness for that one next time.
Oh, sweet.
That one, if you lean back too far, it does feel like it's gonna tip
I
because it's
won't-
literally sitting in a computer chair.
I'll do not do that. I will cry.
Almost.
I like the
I will
Cavalier
cry on
seat.
camera.
I feel like I'm driving the So, we got any... We're
You guys come
silent
here
now.
often?
Like running the awkward silence mode.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
Yeah.
finally hit it.
I think we covered everything.
I've also got to pee
The
again.
only thing I could think of, the only thing I could think of that I could say is like maybe we could split campgrounds. Like if you do have kids, I would say like camp further back,
Yeah.
and then have the
Yeah.
louder crowds.
Oh, especially with the
Kids
Paul one coming
camping.
up with his
Well,
little...
no, honestly, because I know
Incident.
that there's shenanigans that happen at certain campsites with fireworks and so on and so forth, and I
Yeah.
feel like if you have kids, park further back. You know, like figure out.
Stay
honestly,
away from all the
I'm
drunk
not trying to
people.
blow up your spot, Kevin, but I'm just saying, like, figure out where he's
Like,
parking
that-
with his kid, and
That
like
back
figure out
area
like.
where Kevin was would
Yeah.
be great for anybody that
It
brings
would.
a child.
It
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
It would. And you know, with
And
the
then just feel
shenanigans,
like,
I
don't
say just park further up. You know, just like let's be a little bit
Don't
respectable
let the
about
children cross
people
that
that
little
do
dirt road.
have kids. That way we can keep that separate ground. So if there are drunken shenanigans that happen, let's let it
Oh,
happen
no, that
that
guy,
way.
the guy with the Subaru
You know?
that had a kid with him, his kid was funny as shit. His kid scared the living shit out of me like 3 times hiding under some traffic cone. I saw some traffic cone by my car and I'm like,
That's an awful
Also-
decision.
Okay, he's gonna get run over like that. What?
I see somebody
Or like
swatting
a-
the road cone with
he
a door.
had like a, no, he didn't do it by the road. He did it by like the corner of my car where I was standing when I was talking to somebody, and then I'd look over and be like, how'd that cone get there? And this kid would just be like, ah, and I was like, holy shit, like, that was funny. He actually lightened my mood with my car being completely
It does.
fucked
Truth
up.
be told, if I
Genius.
get scared, I
But-
swing.
Well, he also
So
did that car
if
was
I
gonna
punch your
move.
kid and it's because they
He
scare
did.
me,
Yeah, the
it's not my
kid
fault.
did know my car wasn't moving anywhere anytime
But-
quick.
That's a dangerous situation to do. That's like just asking to be hit.
yeah, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
he was off the road and he was
Ugh.
going like under a barrel or under a traffic
Wait.
cone or something. He scared the shit out of me like 3 or 4 times. I thought it was funny as hell. I was like, man, my car's screwed, but you just scared the shit out of me, and that's funny as hell that you actually got me. So that's cool.
Speaking of cones being hit, there was a car that like completely destroyed a barrier.
Oh yeah,
like
I don't know
a
what car that
gigantic
was.
fucking
When we
like,
first
wooden
showed up, some
post.
car just like, were you guys even there when we showed up?
Yeah, we were there when you guys
Yeah.
rolled in.
Some car just like drifted around, or just like slammed into something right next to our
Like
campground.
it was a giant
holy.
wooden post.
Yeah, I was like, holy
Oh, that,
shit.
yeah. I saw the post.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah, we were
let's
kitty
not
corner
hide
away
in
from you. We were right
cones
across.
Or in wooden
We were over
posts.
the
Let's
ground.
We were
not
by
do
the
that.
bathrooms that weren't
Oh,
open.
yeah.
Oh God. Oh, so gambler rule number 1. It's obviously don't be a dick, but
Bring your own
the
TP.
unofficial, bring your own toilet paper. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go take a dump, and I'm so glad I brought my toilet paper because otherwise I would have had to use my T-shirt. So
Ask her.
make sure
Ask
you bring
her.
TP.
I checked. I walked from. So we were at Ed's campground. We were at Ed's campground. I was like, I go to the bathroom. I walked up to the one by the main gate. There was no TP. I walked all the way down to the one by the back. There was no TP. So I walked all the way back to my car. And she's like, What the hell are you doing? I was like, I'm grabbing toilet paper because neither of them has toilet paper and they're both occupied.
I gotta poop.
And
Yep.
the listing on the glove box in the trunk of the car,
Oh,
it
no.
says when shit happens.
Yeah.
We have all our
Toilet
toiletries.
paper.
There's like a bunch of there's like a cutout in the plastic of mud cricket, and there's like toilet paper and like everything that you might need in case something bad happens. And I literally just wrote on it when shit happens.
The other thing with the outhouse is if you crap on the seat, don't cover it with a napkin and move on with
Wipe
your
it
day.
off. Yeah.
That was pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
I used to work for a toilet. I
wipes,
used to work for a
bruh.
porta john
Yeah.
company.
Clorox
Like,
wipes.
take care of that thing.
Yeah.
Come on.
A lot of us have kids.
Morning. I was not
Bring some
impressed.
baby wipes and wipe your ass. And
Which
the
one was
seat.
that? The one down?
Closest to you.
Yeah.
So
That I saw that too.
I saw it with
Oh,
the
yeah.
like, I guess I'm going to Walmart.
Oh no, I hovered.
Oh,
I went for it.
Conrad, you're still there. Yes.
Are we still going?
It's still
Are we
recording.
gonna pause and wait for Conrad to show up?
We
or-
could.
We could
Yep.
wait for Nick and do some crazy Nick. What's his last name now?
Dittler.
Dittler. There we go. Nick, I know you're.
We're gonna wait for Nick, and I'm gonna go pee.
Dittler. Nick Dittler.
No,
Intermission.
it's Franco.
Pause.
Is it going? No, it's
Hey,
going.
Nick's here now.
Ah,
Hey.
guest appearance.
Yeah.
The legendary
Yeah.
Nick.
Movie magic.
I say we've talked about your
Yo,
car. for a
we've
solid
we've
15,
name
20
dropped your
minutes
car
already.
probably like a
Oh,
dozen
shit.
times tonight almost.
Sorry.
You're good.
Everyone loves
A lot
it.
of,
Yep.
lot of catching up.
I told the log cabin story about how no one cared about the Lamborghini and everyone cared about your Volvo.
Just like the time that you put that plastic cup
Yeah.
in it and
That was,
plugged the hole.
yeah. it
That was when I
worked.
met you guys at the cabin.
Yeah.
And then the cup was still in the hole in the floor. And then we took the picture with you two posing on your cars with that douchebag and his lifted F-150 and his Lambo doors in the background.
Yeah.
It was a
it
good
was-
time.
that
That was
was
my
a good
profile picture.
You
for
lost
a
that. You
while.
lost that
Yep.
cup on the death track with us.
I did lose that cup
Yeah.
on the dump truck with you.
Rip.
Sorry. All right.
I lost my muffler too.
Yeah.
So
We never.
You lost your
Clean it up
muffler.
with that.
disappeared.
it really did.
We looked forever.
We did. Yeah.
With
we were.
sticks and everything. You guys
We
were.
walked down that and back. I was hoping to salvage it, but
The last gambler too, Nick got out to fix his roof rack, and then Alec and I are behind him in the Dakota, and then Nick's all fixing his roof rack, and we're like, Nick, your muffler! And Nick looks back, and his muffler's laying on the ground like 100 yards behind the Volvo.
I was like, I didn't even hear it fall off. You think you would hear it like hit the
Yeah.
rocks or something, but no, I just thought it was disconnected. I looked under the car and they're like, "No, it was behind you."
Yeah, it's behind you. I got some videos of that too.
Oh heck!
I have the video of where that broke. Remember, we reviewed the video too to find out where it broke off.
Because it immediately.
It was like, like immediately you could just hear exhaust and turbo like the minute it broke off.
Even under the water.
Yeah, like it just changed pitch.
We've been there.
So it's
It
like all of a
wasn't-
sudden like, oh, that's
Yeah, like,
turboed.
it's like car turbo tractor.
Well, it's like it went
No,
from
I
a
lost the
burnt to
exhaust
a
off
gurgle.
my-
That's what happens when it goes
Mhm.
underwater.
I was thinking the XJ. No.
Fuck. I was really hoping that we were going to go through that death track on the spring run, but
The same one.
yeah,
Yeah.
we got
Yeah,
close.
I
We
was
got
riding with you,
really
and
close.
you were like, "Oh, we're going up to this death track," and then we turned and went to the brewery.
The same
Yeah, it
one
was-
that we like went off and like went down the big ass hill. That
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Fall.
The fall one.
Fall.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was like we were just talking about like we literally were like, yeah, the fall one, we didn't know how it worked, and we were just like cruising around, following waypoints, and then we just met up with this like random dude with like a red and black Volvo. We just became friends, and then asked him if he wanted to go on a death track, and he's like, I've never been on one, so we just sent it.
We were cruising up to you guys with Jason, and I think you guys were pulled off on the side of the road or something, and we were like, oh, we're just gonna follow them.
Yeah.
But Jason's always been like a pretty awesome navigator and shit, and we were just like, you know, this looks like a death track. Like, these guys have 4-wheel drive, they can pull us out, like if we get stuck. And we're like, hey, you want to go on this little death trip with us? And you're like, yeah, we're down.
We're going.
But there was no fucking way that I was going through that second hole.
We never had to pull you.
No.
Not once.
No.
You made it the whole way.
Yeah.
The mighty Volvo.
It's indestructible.
I have videos of the water up to your windows.
The sight of you walking through the woods with a hatchet.
Oh yeah.
Trying to cut down trees so you guys could make it through.
Yeah.
I have
and then
some unedited video of you like almost like pinching me between a tree and the car, and you just hear me go, "Oh fuck!" and the video shuts off because the car just like when you hit the tree with the tail light.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, babe, I almost just died.
Yeah. I was like, I almost got pinched between a tree and a Volvo.
The car like slid, and then it knocked out the taillight.
Yeah.
The Swedish tank.
The tank.
I love
I was
that car.
I didn't get stuck going around that mud hole. But the last
You
one,
tried to
I
go
got
around.
like
Yeah.
I got like this far.
I don't know why
going-
you should just go through it.
Well, I did go.
You
I
did
wind
eventually
up
go
just
through
going
it,
right
yeah.
through it. I was like, oh, this looks a little bit deep. And then
Holding
it was
the
just like,
computer.
okay.
Holding the computer.
Yeah, Jason's
over
holding the
you.
computer over his head. I loved that.
It was bolted to his door the last time
Mm.
when we just went.
You're like, I done learned.
You
I
stopped
learned
at
my
halfway
lesson.
through
Yeah, I
first
was
day.
like, I don't have anyone in the
All of
passenger
my
seat holding this
valuables.
today. It's like, Jason, pull all the shit off the floor. It's like
I think
water's
when
rushing
you
in.
pulled out of the first one, there was like a jack stand on the ground behind your car. You just like fell out your floor and like ran over or some shit. There was like some big like metal. I can't remember if it was a jack or a jack stand or something.
Something.
Oh yeah, I think that was one of the jacks that was in the trunk.
Yeah, it like fell out and you were like, oh, that's mine. You
of
picked it
jacks
up
and
and put it
jack
back in the
stands.
car.
Your prehistoric jack stand's still out here.
Cool.
Because when we were moving the derby car earlier, he picks up the 10-ton one from the shop, and then right next to it's just that prehistoric awesome one.
I had to put my muffler back on at work. I think it was in January, February. I don't know. It was like -10 outside, and I needed to secure this muffler so it wouldn't fall off. And so, I had the 940. So I was like, all right, this off-road jack's the only thing that I have, but the hook, there's no place for me to mount this like anywhere to the car, and I don't have anything to stick on there to like properly lift it up. So I was like, all right, I guess fender arch it is, and just hooked it underneath the fender arch and just yanked it up like that. The wheel didn't lift off of the ground, but it was just enough space for my torso to go underneath to fucking secure it.
Jesus.
But that was the beauty of that car. That was the car that I could just do whatever. Like, I gotta drill something into the roof. Okay.
Hey, whatever
zip,
it takes,
zip,
right?
zip. I gotta drill a hole in
I
the
remember-
fender. All right.
I remember going through the whole list of like everything you've done and all the different things in the Gary's parking lot
Yeah.
when we met up with your buddy there.
Yeah.
At
That,
Gary's.
oh yeah.
In Binghamton?
Yeah. Gary's, you pull it.
Yeah. You
It's
were like,
been-
look at this! Like, I got like wood screws holding this in, and like you have to do this to open the door. I'm like, wow.
It was just.
To
It's.
roll down the window.
I remember you being like, I don't think it's passing inspection again, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be off the road. And I was
The
like,
fact
oh,
that
I'm
you
so
had to
upset
take the
about
whole
that.
Yeah, it was-
door
We're
panel
riding
off.
we're riding to
Quick
Walmart.
release.
We're riding to Walmart on the Saturday after we all got back to camp and we're all going to grab more supplies. And Nick's like, oh, well, I'll jump into my Volvo. And it's like, oh, I don't know where my tarp is, so just don't mind the hole in the floor. And I sit above the hole in the floor. Needless to say, I rode back with Alec because I almost passed out in his back seat from all the exhaust coming back up into the cabin of the car from the back
You don't
seat.
have to worry about it though because it filters out the back end that's
I mean-
all rotted and ruined.
I mean,
we
like-
had all the windows open, and even still then.
Yeah,
that didn't
like,
help him out.
I got nice and
Feel
baked,
so-
but it was a little too
Nice
baked.
and
So I feel so fucking bad about that. I should have at least thrown that fucking tarp back.
Nah, it was all good, but I felt awesome after I got out of the car.
After I got back from Pennsylvania, it was after I got back from the Gambler. I pulled it back off, and there were like burn holes like that big into the tarp. I was like, well, this was almost a little scary.
Oh wait, he can be witness because he was on video chat with us. Mud Cricket ran in my driveway with nothing hooked up, right?
Yeah, confirmed.
Confirmed.
100%.
We unhooked
Confirmed.
cam sensors, crank sensors, O2 sensors, mass airflow every sensor I could unhook, and it didn't run great, but it ran, and we don't know how.
I'm just saying.
So why'd you hook him back up?
She has a soul, which is why I say that she has to stay the way that she is.
I didn't know who to call. I didn't know
I
who to
don't
call,
care.
so I called him on FaceTime, and I'm like, bro, look at this. Like, you can confirm that nothing is hooked up, and this pile of crap is somehow running, and he's like, how? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm just saying, you
I
know
don't
how
know
mad.
what it was.
You know how mad I would be if we completely disembodied Cricket. How mad would I be?
Yeah.
Scale of
Yeah.
1 to 10.
I know.
Like 11.
Yeah, because she has a soul, and I say that
It's
she
confirmed.
hates
I
Talon.
know.
She hates Talon.
She doesn't hate me.
Legitimately,
abusive
we're
boyfriend.
driving home.
Oh, here's a story for you. Talk about a haunted car.
Driving home from Frozen Nuts. I almost said icy nuts. Frozen Nuts.
Icy nuts.
Driving home from Frozen Nuts, he's talking mad shit about this car. This fucking car, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-doo. And the window just goes straight down.
The driver's side window
Freezing
just rolls
cold.
down.
Just
Randomly
rolls
in that
all the way
big ass
down.
snowstorm we had.
Your
all
car's
the way
telling you to fuck
down.
off, yeah.
And then he's like hitting the window lever, like trying to roll it up. Nothing's happening. Completely done. And then he's like, I'm like, you need to stop being such a dick to this car because it's driving us home right now. She is getting us home. You need to stop being such a dick. Immediately he's like, it's okay. We're gonna get you home. We're gonna get you fixed up. Window goes up halfway.
Window rolls up, yeah.
Halfway. Halfway. He doesn't even hit the lever. The window rolls up halfway. Like, and I'm like, what I say? Some positive attitude.
I've always been against. I've
No,
always
but it's
been
not.
like,
It's not even that far. It's literally like it
If
happened.
I'm in the
It
driver's
rolled.
seat,
No, it. Oh yeah, if you're in the
nothing
driver's seat,
fucking
nothing
happens.
happens. But
Nothing
it rolled back
fucking
up all the
happens.
way, and we're going, and something happened, and no, it was the whole thing with the smelling gas thing because someone said, "Hey, I smell gas" at the death track, and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, it's not my car." So then the whole way home, I'm like, "Do you smell gas? Do you smell gas?" And then finally it got really strong, and I'm like, "Babe." I'm like, do you smell fucking gas? Because this car is leaking gas somewhere. I was like, this is not okay. And I just
I'm
started
smoking
like,
a cigarette.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
telling her,
right,
I'm like, put it out. I'm like, put it out. I smell gas. And she goes, she goes,
sparking
calm
it up
down.
right there.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I
looking-
smell gas a little bit.
I'm like, this piece of shit car. I was like, it's not even gonna make us home if it's smelling this much of gas. Window dropped. The minute I said it, window. She has a video of it. She was taking a video of me talking shit about the car, and the window just goes boom. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And it's like just utter snowstorm, like 0 degrees, and the window won't go back up. And she's like, talk nice to it. And I'm like, I love you. You're okay. Like, we're gonna make it home. I don't care about the gas smell. Window goes back up. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
She has a soul, and she
I
does
don't.
not
I
like
have
you.
no idea.
I was
actually-
always
She doesn't
against-
like you 10 times more now.
Oh yeah.
I was always
I said
against
don't do
like,
It wouldn't start for me. That's why I had her in the driver's seat when you were on video. I'd sit in the driver's seat and I just bup 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 bup, and it wouldn't start. And I'm like, fuck it. I was like, babe, you do it, and I'm gonna look at stuff. And I'm like looking, and all of a sudden she just jumps in. And it's like, vroom, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's when I FaceTimed you. I'm like, this thing's running with nothing hooked up. What the fuck is going on? And
With
you're like,
her in
I
the
know.
driver's seat.
Yeah. The minute she got out of the driver's seat, the battery died. It hasn't been started since.
My name's Sabrina.
It's her car.
It is.
Or it's human.
Like,
I have no idea.
I was
I
always
literally got
against
it a
like,
couple
That's
days
my
later,
friend.
and the battery won't start.
I'm just
Like, it
saying.
won't- It won't work. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's my kid. I don't care.
I have no idea.
I could never give cars, like, for me growing up, it was always like, oh, what's the name of your car? And I was like, it's a Ford. You know? So,
I've
like,
never had a
I never
one
experienced
since
that
this
until I
one.
was older, to where it's like,
It's ironic.
you gotta call your car a girl. If you don't call your car a girl,
Yeah.
then it's gonna fuck up on you and it's gonna run it into the ground. Unless you're, like, treat it like a woman, then it's gonna run like shit. Like, you have to be very respectable to your women or your vehicles.
Well,
Otherwise,
I'd be
they're
Mud
garbage.
Cricket since I got her.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why do you have August on your calendar?
Mud Cricket Green. Duh.
That's August
Well,
2018.
first off,
I just haven't
first off,
gotten to flip it.
August 1st is my birthday. So let's be honest. So you have Mud Cricket Green
No, there's
for
also...
August 1st, which is my
Oh, he's
birthday.
gonna change it now.
No, it's,
Haha.
it's
But-
also 2018.
Yeah.
That also no,
That's
but that proves.
Wait, is that a
Oh,
dart?
there
That's
you
a
go.
dart,
Mud
right?
Cricket Green, August 1st, my birthday. Let
I
me
think
just
that's a
say.
dart.
But she won't drive the car.
Yeah, I believe so.
I
Yeah,
will-
that's a
I'll
Dodge
drive
Dart.
my
That's
car,
why
but
it's
I'm
sitting
not
there.
gonna be
Dodge
the
Dart.
fucker.
That was one of
I'm
the
not
Daily
being an
crazy.
asshole.
back in the
I
day.
beat
Those
that
things
car
when we were
since I got it.
13
You can't be
from the
daily crazy.
factory back in the
Right
day.
now.
That is crazy fast for a
replaced
factory
every
car
single
back
one
in the
of those.
day.
Oh.
Right,
And I haven't started since.
as of right now, she cannot.
So the radiator's still out, so we have to pressure wash the radiator out because the radiator is a giant chunk of sand.
New radiators.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Nice.
My
I wonder why.
my skid plate was just
Definitely
nothing but
had
sand
prepared
when I
myself
took
for that. I did
I
not
wonder
think the
why, too.
Adirondacks were going to be all
I
sand.
think
It's just
that's
sand
why.
everywhere.
It is weird terrain up in the
Yeah, like
Adirondacks.
coming from out here,
I-
it's all mud. Up
just-
there,
I
it's
can't
all
believe
sand.
It was
I still
already
haven't gotten
broken
used
by
to
the time I
like
got
the
up
brownish,
I
reddish
know.
water.
there. I feel
Yeah.
I do feel bad.
Like,
giving
it
you guys
looks-
shit.
yeah,
As soon as
like,
that
the
comes
water's
out,
like
I was like, oh, this fucking thing's
magenta.
broken already. And you're like, listen,
It's gotta be iron.
it's been a very hard night.
Actually, the leaves
Was it
deteriorating
me?
at the bottom.
I think
That could be
so.
too, yeah.
Yeah,
It could be
that,
diabetic.
that sounds like me.
You went
Like
down
you
there
don't
first,
even
yeah.
know. Where were you?
And
That's
I
yeah.
thought
Actually,
it
that
was-
was exactly what.
Yeah, I was
What
like,
you
where
said.
were you?
It's actually
Where
all
were
the
you
leaves
talking
and
about
dropping
this?
in the lake and
Yeah,
decomposing.
exactly.
I was
Exactly.
leaving work.
Where were you talking about?
We're starting
I
to turn
was
into some
back
drunk
in my
conversation
Everyone
here.
else said
10
that.
conversations at
That's
once.
what's going on now.
I
Good
was-
Yeah, we're
times.
just like-
Gambler. Hell yeah.
Everybody's just off on tangents.
Well, that's how it is
You,
at the
you missed the fucking random tangents we got on earlier.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hours.
We
Our
were just kind of
conversations
puttering
were-
along and
Yeah,
then
then
just
over here, over there.
tangent down to the bottom of the lake. We pull ourselves back up on the
I want to
trail.
hear his tangent. Apparently, you're gonna have a bachelor party.
No, we could talk about
Yeah,
that.
tits and ass.
No, that's about it.
Gambler 500. It's gonna be so
He's doing
if
that-
Tyler
bachelor
sets it
party
up
thing.
right.
Fall gambling.
September the 15th
I
is
just
my
imagine this hot
birthday,
pilot with a bunch of
and
balloons
I'm also
drawn
gonna do
like
my bachelor
boobs
party
all,
that
like,
weekend at AIS, as
on
long as
the-
Tyler sets it up at AIS. So do it at
Bar.
AIS so that we can all have a fucking shit show, amazing weekend, and then hopefully it'll be an awesome birthday party bachelor weekend with like, I don't know, tits and ass and
I
gas.
can't wait.
You
Tits
forgot
and ass
to
and
say
gas.
please.
There you go.
No, I can't wait for the strippers that are actually going to show up to.
Oh
AIS
yeah, and
for
also
Oh!
Talon,
my
Talon
cricket.
with his stripper pole. We will actually use the stripper pole on Talon's mud cricket.
We have a revamp.
That's if I can get Talon in the booty.
Yeah.
Whoever
Yeah.
lines
Or
up
if
the
she
strippers,
allows it.
No.
Make
No,
sure they're
I'm
like 400
totally
pound
for it.
dudes.
Him in the booty shorts.
putting a pipe around
100%.
it.
You heard it here, folks.
Tie up.
Talon
Put it
on
that
the
one.
stripper pole with his booty shorts.
No, that's not confirmed.
It is.
That
It
is
is. It's
not-
totally confirmed.
That is not going to be
Muff
confirmed.
boots and all. I'll buy you beer. Be quiet.
Oh, boy.
We're probably gonna have to kill a bottle.
Anything's
tequila.
better than actually taking it out Friday night.
Yeah.
I think it was-
Touche.
Wasn't it Nick walking around with that shot super soaker?
No, that was Nick Fargnoli.
Yeah, it was Nick walking. Yeah, not that Nick. Other
Nick
Nick.
Yeah.
Cannoli. Nick
And, like,
Cannoli.
Nick walked
Nick
around. He was
Cannoli.
like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
want a
was
shot?"
about
And he
to
was
say, how
like,
do you pronounce
he
his
walked
last
up and he
name?
was
I
like,
just
"Put
say
it in my
Nick.
mouth." I was
I
like,
think
"Bud,
Nick
you got a
is
gun.
very
Back the
good.
fuck up
I
and
like
shoot
Nick
it in my
Nolte.
face."
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I covered my eyes, and he like blasted me
I'm
3
not
times
talking
with it.
about
It was
last name.
amazing.
Yeah, we know that
That's
now.
how you shoot
Actually, I
shots
learned
in
that
people's
at
mouths. Not really
Yes,
close.
true.
You were still James Franco. I don't care.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
You're like, I'm not mad. Whatever.
Every time.
Every time. Every time he says, you
2
want to
hour
talk to Nick, I was like, which one?
Almost.
You're like, James
Like,
Franco.
4 minutes.
Long show tonight, folks. Long
I'm
show.
just saying.
This is gonna
Good-
be fun to upload.
2 separate
times,
camps.
yeah.
If we can put the
2
children
days
in
to
the back,
upload.
Stop.
No,
Not
seriously.
talking about
we
that
can, like,
again.
if we could put the children in the back and then have that going on.
You're like so
Up
for
front.
this.
Like
Well,
you know
because
where you know
like you don't
where Kevin
want
Take
Hart-
that
kids
camera.
coming up. You don't want kids coming
No,
up on
she's
tits
saying,
and
like,
ass.
We were talking about like the whole.
Well, that's why we're. I mean,
the
I got
OG
tents.
gamblers like
I
21
got
over.
tents and
There
whatnot.
was kids
We'll have that
ours.
secluded.
Like, so, like,
We're not gonna.
yeah, like a kids section.
We
You
can't.
know
We,
where
don't, we
Kevin
won't have them
Hart
out in the
is?
open.
Backside
They're not gonna be out in the
where,
open.
That back
Oh,
corner.
I
like
got
everybody-
it.
so
This is
everybody's
crazy.
alone over there.
No,
kind of
that's what
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah,
Just
no,
like
no.
Yeah,
We're gonna be.
work,
We're gonna have
work,
We're gonna
respect
have
for other
a
people.
gentleman's tent.
across that.
Yeah, a gentleman's tent.
But,
I like that.
like six-
I like that. I'm
16
gonna
under
buy a
50
big ass
over
tent,
that
and it's
section.
gonna be the gentleman's
You have a
tent.
12 person.
There you
Just
go.
use that.
Well, I can
Or
get a
that.
20 person, and it'll be the gentleman's tent.
We're gonna show up. He's
Wait,
gonna have a
it's not
trailer
the
behind
You're
him.
the
gentleman's
only
club.
person that
It's
knows
the
what's going to happen to
gentleman's
Mud. You
Yes,
and
the
Tyler
gentleman's
are the only people
tent.
that's going to know what's going to actually happen to Mud Cricket if we can't get
Or you
it
can
running,
call it the
correct?
hideout.
I think
I
so.
did tell you.
Yes.
I don't know. Whatever she wants to call it, we're gonna
He's
call
gonna
it.
show up with a
That's
circus
right.
tent and
Yeah.
be like,
Apparently,
Circus tent.
This one on live stream told the people from Michigan that Mud Cricket's going to be running and we're
I
going to be
didn't
going to the
say
Michigan
that.
Gambler
I
next
didn't-
weekend.
I did not. No, I didn't.
I can tell you
Next
who's not
weekend?
going to be there.
Yeah, you.
Mud
This guy.
Cricket.
It's next weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I thought it was like further out.
Our vacation week, you want to go to a Gambler. That's fine. I'm
Send
good with
the
that.
Civic.
Well, no,
Send the Civic.
Let's spray paint the Civic
I mean,
lime
we
green
do
and call it
have a
Mud Cricket
cabin
2.0.
Yeah.
Actually, we could just call it Mud Cricket 1.7.
Yeah.
We have a cabin there. So
Yeah,
we
one.
can
I like that
go, but-
1.7.
It was funny. Matt Wands was like, "You can take my Jeep if you want to go."
Yeah. Matt Wands told her, if you
Oh,
want to go on your
Jesus.
own, you just take the Jeep.
The Jeep
And
that
for
barely
first
survived Canada.
Gamble's going to be
It
getting
didn't-
out
it-
there in it.
I wouldn't even say it
It'll-
survived Canada. It
It
wouldn't
came
have
back
that
pretty
like.
much dead, but it made it back.
Yeah, it limped its way back. It dragged its legs more than I do.
We don't know. Tomorrow I get the thermostat and I wash the radiator out and all the sensors are back in Mud Cricket. We don't know.
She might live.
She might live.
Think
That'd be
positive
cool.
thoughts.
Have her
That'd be
first start it
badass.
up.
I was
I
gonna say
know, I
the
know.
car doesn't hate her, so
Yeah.
have her do all the stuff.
I'll have her drive it up the road and make sure
Yeah.
that it goes over 55.
If it goes over
It doesn't
55, you're going
overheat
out to
in the
Michigan.
first 5
Yeah,
seconds.
you're golden.
Just have me drive it there, and then you. Just have me drive.
I've got a new cooling fan.
He's gonna be
gotta
the
wash the
co-pilot.
radiator out. I'm gonna do everything and she's gonna drive it.
He got the rest of the sand out of it from that was
Yeah,
buried in.
I did. That was a
Sandcastle
nightmare.
underneath
Serious. Yeah.
That sand was-
Sandcastle.
Oh man.
Weren't
you
you
saw
talking
it, it was
earlier?
up to the intake.
Yeah.
We were actually told that earlier how I walked up and I was like, there's a lot of sand in here. And then the next morning you showed up with your buckets and you were dumping the water in there.
Wasn't it,
clearing
I guess
it
it was the
out.
next morning. It was like 3 a.m.
Well, morning, AMs, same difference.
You were literally just like flushing my entire engine out with like water. You're like,
It had to.
you're
get
like,
done.
you're like, I don't know what's wrong with it, but the sand needs to go.
That's yeah. You
That's
did-
before-
you can't see
Sand
shit.
That was before he cut the skid plate out that he
Well,
rolled
before
in.
he showed up,
It was giving me the worst anxiety. I was like, bro, you gotta get this shit out of here. Just let me fill up a couple of 5-gallon buckets like 10 times.
From that creek. There was no plumbing up there that weekend. They didn't even open the public bathrooms for us for the racetrack.
I
Like,
wish I had a hose.
there was no running water
Yeah,
at that
hose
racetrack
would've been
that
nice.
that weekend. I
I tell
couldn't
you-
believe
Well,
that.
I tell you though, coming
Tyler
back
did
from
ask.
the
Tyler
fall
did make
gambler,
a post about it.
and the
And he
first
asked
time, like
how,
being able
like,
to wash
how
the
urgent
inside of my
people would need
vehicle
to
with a
use those
garden
bathrooms.
hose is like the most
I did read
satisfying
that.
fucking
There
thing
were
on the
guys
face
walking
of the
around, they were
planet.
like, oh,
And
but I
that's
need water to
nobody-
boil my
nobody
corn.
commented on it, so it's
Sand
not Tyler's
and
fault that nobody
bullshit got
commented
flushed
on it.
out of that Volvo.
It's just the fact that
And
you
it was
guys
perfect
need to
because
let
my
everyone
driveway's
know.
already on a
Like, listen,
on a
this
hill,
might be urgent.
so I
you
just
might
parked
need
it
this.
to
Well, I
where
mean,
all
it's a
the
race-
rain- all the
It's a
rust
racetrack
holes
with
were, and I
over
just
300
flushed the
people
whole
there.
thing
They
out.
should have known to turn their damn water on and
And
open their bathroom.
I found two
Oh, they
back
pull all the
He
there.
did
water out
make
of
a
the
post
pond
at the
though.
same
He
time.
did ask.
They all run like the bathrooms by the camping is generator.
So they're
powered
running
with
from those
pump.
creeks and ponds. Yeah, we
Exactly,
would have let it
so-
dry the first weekend then.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
At least that's what it looks
He
like.
asked
Yeah.
for certain hours when we would need them, and if we did need them.
Nobody
So,
commented on
and
it.
nobody, like, barely anybody commented on it, and a lot of people said that they didn't need it, so he didn't think anything of it. Which, you know, if honestly, if next time around, you know, this is all lessons learned, because this isn't like a frequent thing. This is still growing. You know, this is all
Mhm.
lessons learned every single time.
Absolutely.
The more people that grow, obviously, we're gonna need it, because there's gonna be more people there, and Lord only knows what's going to happen.
Right, but we have done it off of bare bones for so long that if you start giving people amenities, how many people are going to take advantage?
You get more of the.
True that. You're gonna
Which
you're
is
gonna
why-
get you're gonna
which
get
is
like
why you
clogged
only keep it
toilets and
open for
nastiness.
certain
Yeah.
periods of time, which is
You're
what
gonna
he
get
said.
more
He was like,
vendors.
I'd keep it open for this period of time and then this period of time at night, and that's it.
It would be
Right,
easy.
but
It
there's
would
still
be
people taking
easier.
advantage of shit.
It would be easier just to
Well,
say
I
bring your
mean-
own damn
Well,
toilet
how much-
paper.
Would be nice.
How much advantage would you take advantage?
You're
how,
right.
How much
Showers
would you
would be
take
nice,
advantage
yeah.
of it being
The
open
porta
for like
pots
3
are
hours
already
for
nice,
each,
and that's not
you know?
like those aren't.
I mean-
permanent, those are like
Yeah.
I'm a
temporary
camping professional here,
but
so
that's-
for me it
I'm
was
just
like
saying,
no running water.
sponge
I had
bath
baby
at that
wipes.
point.
I Euro showered all
You
weekend. I
know,
wiped my
bring
balls. I wiped
yourself
my ass with some baby
wipes
wipes and
and
threw them in the
whatever, get
fire.
yourself
Like
that baby bath and get yourself going. I don't care. I didn't care.
The first,
Yeah,
the,
I always
the
forget,
fall
I always forget about
gambler.
baby wipes too.
The fall gambler. the
Baby
first
wipes,
one we
baby
went to-
wipes. Baby
Listen,
wipes.
I didn't shower the entire time. I don't care.
Yeah,
Got home and
I made sure I
relived
took a
that
shower
life.
before I went up there.
It was
Yeah, we
it
did
was
too.
it was jail shower life in that
The,
moment.
the
I
first
was like,
gambler we went to
yes.
would have been nice to have
Hot
running
water.
water at because I got freaking covered in mud and I was like sitting there trying to get mud out of my ear for like hours
Hydrogen
with like hydrogen
peroxide.
peroxide. Because somebody came flying by and just caked me, but like, yeah, I get it. Like the showers would be nice, but I also get the fact that like, I feel like too many people might take advantage of running
Yeah.
water. Or
Yeah.
showers
For what?
or toilets.
What would they do? What are they gonna do?
Well, I mean,
No, just get out of hand kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
for me, it's like you're wasting when
Right.
that guy came around to me and he was like, "Oh, do you got any water so I can cook my corn?" It's like for me,
Right, but
That's a
where
waste
do
of
you
water.
draw
If I
the
can get it
line?
from the
That's not
stream.
potable water coming out of that.
Yeah, it wasn't
Awesome.
potable coming out of there anyway.
No.
Potable.
yeah,
bring,
like
bring water bottles.
it's
and-
it's
I
not.
bring
so
7
much water on the
gallons. I
first
bring up one of the big
because it was
blue
at Kevin's
cubes.
property.
Yeah, I had
brought so much
5
water.
gallons of Walmart water for $5 with
well,
me.
first off,
I
To
brought
bring
so much
water.
water the first one.
who's actually trying to like boil corn?
Well, they were.
They were, but
everybody
that was like
was.
If
Grill
I
one.
had corn, I would
Grill
do it,
it.
or I'd just
Grill
butter it
it.
up and throw it on the
Put it
fire.
on some tinfoil, put some butter on it,
You
boom,
just
done.
soak
Grill
the
it.
husk, put it in the
I've
grill.
only-
Gambler
yeah, I was gonna
chef,
say, I've always
yeah.
done
Right
soup
here.
for like half an
Yes.
hour
Gambler
or so,
chef.
and then thrown it on the grill.
Yes,
Cook
no
it in,
big
yeah,
deal.
cook it in the husk.
Yeah, that
no
always
big
works,
deal. You know, you don't need to boil it, baby doll. It's Gucci. You're camping.
Or just don't bring corn, bring burgers and dogs and deal with it.
And don't bring
Burgers,
frozen
dogs, and
fucking
Yeah.
turkeys.
Yeah.
And corn, and then just cook
I
it in
never
the
heard the
can.
end of that.
Potato
frozen
chips,
thing.
potato chips, potato
Well,
chips.
it was not successful.
Listen,
The
we've
frozen
been
turkey
talking
was
beef
unsuccessful.
sticks and cinnamon rolls.
It was
Let's be
ambitious.
honest here.
Ambitious but rubbish.
We
Trying to
straight
deep
up.
fry two
We did
30-pound
the beef
turkeys.
stick cinnamon roll diet for
Yeah,
a
no,
while.
our first gambler, we brought
sorry,
so much
breakfast
water.
pizza.
We brought so much water, and then we didn't bring it with us, which would have been really nice.
I'm
But we
stealing
didn't
your
bring
beer.
we didn't bring it with us. And on our way back from Advanced Auto, when I fixed the whole bullshit with the timing belt, and we started overheating, the only thing I had in the back of the car was beer. So I just kept dumping beer in the radiator.
Well, we
Why is it foaming so bad? Oh my god!
No, it worked great. It worked great.
90.
I drove it home. I drove it around
No.
Binghamton. I drove everywhere, and then literally it was like a frozen night. And she's like, is that beer in the radiator? Is it gonna hurt your car? And I'm like, oh. I was like, that needs to come out before we get frozen temperatures. And I'm literally draining. Like, I swear to God, it was like a oily coolant beer slushy out of my bottom radiator hose.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I was like, I'm glad I changed that. And then I went down and got actual coolant and put it in. And I was like, that's a good thing good thing you brought that up. There's like beer all over our driveway. I'm like, it's not really bad because it's beer. I swear to God, all the coolant's out of it. It's just beer. There's a 30 rack of beer in my radiator.
You heard it here, folks. Beer
It was all
will
Bud Light,
help
I
your car
swear.
drive if you have no radiator fluid.
She was drinking champ that day.
Yo, we literally pulled that radiator out, and there was still beer in the motor, and we put his radiator back in the car because we went down and got his radiator out of his car, put it in there, and I'm like, I didn't grab any coolant, and she's like, well, what are we gonna do? I was like, let's just put water in it. So we're dumping water bottles in it, and it didn't fill up, and I'm like, we're going back to the beer. So we just started dumping Bud Light in it till it was full, and I was like, that works.
Well, Bud Light's fine.
It ran all
It was mostly water
Damn
anyway.
near water
Just
anyway.
dump it.
Yep.
If
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
Miller
great.
Lite, I would have cried.
I didn't have any problem with it. It didn't overheat. It didn't, from what I can tell, it didn't like boil over or anything. It worked great the whole
We
way
brought-
home from the fall game.
We brought like 120 beers.
Yeah, we had a bunch of
That-
beer. We had like
that-
330 racks, 430 racks.
No, we had
I brought
four.
2 30s, and then after the first night, I had like 20 beers left, and I didn't even drink that much. I was like, where the fuck did all my beer go?
I literally put 230 racks in my car. I know it's alcohol abuse. Whatever. Blame me
Whatever.
for it.
It was Bud
Whatever.
Light. It's fine. It's water.
Bud Light. Yeah, it's water.
Right?
PBR.
It wasn't.
It's not like I was dumping
It
Labatt
was
in
not-
there.
I brought bourbon.
It was not the
Scotch.
Miller Lite. It was
That's
not
Scotch.
the Miller Lite. It's okay.
Well, the prior one I had absinthe.
Pack up with me, I think. I think I killed it.
Well,
Yingling.
American absinthe
German
or...
absinthe.
No, that was.
Oh, yeah, the good shit.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Modelo.
looked like antifreeze.
It was Modelo.
Shame I wasn't there.
But then, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
When
you
I had
were
the Santa Fe,
fancy.
I had the absinthe.
You've got a mission for the fall
Oh,
gambler.
I already put in an order for
Yeah,
another bottle
you're
of it.
You've
just-
got a mission for the fall gambler.
And then, yeah, it
It's
was.
not, it's
even
not
that
as
I
easy
brought
as jumping
some
down to the
frozen
grocery store. We have to wait for our tax dollars to pay my brother to go fly to Germany.
I remember showing up,
Which
leaving
is fairly
Frozen
common. He
Nuts,
just hasn't brought one back
and
yet.
she's literally the whole way down off Kevin's property. She's bitching. She's like,
I'm bitching.
"Yeah, you were. You're like,
Oh, couple quarrel.
I haven't seen Nick
Drink.
at all tonight, and he said he was gonna be here." And I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you. It's fucking late, and we're going back to the hotel because it's winter."
Like, we're not fucking leaving.
I slept
Yeah,
in
and
the
she's
shack.
like, Nick is on his way. Everyone says Nick's on his way, and I'm like, man, it's like 2:30 in the morning.
I'm like,
And then all of a sudden, we get to the end, and there's this Volvo facing us, and I'm like, hey, there's Nick. And she's like, oh, there's Nick. I'm like,
I was
holy
like,
shit.
park now. Literally, I'm like, park now.
I tried to get further up, but I just had to beach the Volvo in the mouth of Kevin's driveway.
The first thing
I
you
was
say
like,
to me is
okay.
like, hey, can I have a tow?
I beached the Volvo, I cracked open a beer, and I went up to Captain and
Yeah.
Jay in the bus and was talking to them, and we saw you two drive by, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta go see them real quick.
You beat us down to the car pretty much.
I just slid down the hill. It was all.
I just
Yeah,
It was
slid
all
on my ass.
snow, so I just.
I see this little red and black Volvo. I'm like, hey, there's Nick. And she's like, oh, you gotta stop. And I'm like, I'm gonna. And then all of a sudden, Nick's like coming out of the woods, and he's like, hey, can I have a tow? And I'm like, I guess so. Turn around. And then we hung out in that bus for like a couple hours.
Seriously, the little snowmobile treads
Yeah,
are gonna come in some
something like that.
serious. Did you see the one I butch pulled out of the trash? That snowmobile
Yeah.
tread? That's gonna come in so much handy for the gamblers, man. I can't wait. That's
That
gonna
was
be
awesome,
awesome
though.
using it for people.
Wait, so what are
Okay.
you gonna do for this gambler?
Yeah, that's a good question.
True.
He may ride with me in the pilot, or
Yeah,
whenever
probably.
he can.
Probably going to be maybe be a
Co-pilot.
co-pilot if I can't find anything. I'm looking for something small, front-wheel drive, 4-cylinder.
This is the second offer we've had on the gambler page.
Yep, there's
Let's
some
hear
people
it.
pitching cars all night.
We want people selling cars. She wants one. He wants one. Let's go for it.
I'm
If
thinking,
it's
like-
free, it's better. So donate a car to Nick, and he will send the fuck out of it.
He wants
Donate.
a Hyundai accent. Don't let him lie to you.
Hyundai
Yep.
accent, Ford
Lauren,
Escort.
we're looking
Don't
at
let
you,
him lie,
bud.
He wants a
Who
Santa
wants, to
Fe.
start, who wants to start a bidding
He-
war on
he-
my SVT Focus?
He
No.
wants a Santa
Ooh.
Fe. He
I
wants
got-
a
I
Santa
got, like,
Fe.
$3.
He wants to
Too
call
low.
it the Creek. The Creek. That's what he wants to call
Creek.
it. Yeah, don't
Creek.
lie to
He
you.
doesn't want a Santa Fe. They're too much of a headache. I promise.
The mud cricket and
I
the
could get- I
mud
could get a
cricket.
Listen,
I could get a Tucson and spray paint
that
it
would be
safety
better
orange.
because he's nicer.
We could be like two
Yeah.
different like blaze colors. Here.
Something like that.
Lime green and blaze orange.
Or I could do it lime green and it could be like mini cricket.
Yeah.
No, we already had mini.
For me, for
Oh,
the mud
true.
pig, I was
Yeah.
planning on
Oh.
doing some like
Cricket-
lime green and
cricket,
black, like camo kind of stripes and
Call
whatnot,
it
There you go.
the
painting it on it.
grasshopper.
Could be grasshopper.
Yeah.
You have not been any death traps, young
Yeah, exactly.
Young grasshopper.
Exactly.
You don't know
Young
how to break
Padawan.
yet.
You don't know how to survive a 4-foot mud pit, young grasshopper.
Oh, boy.
Mudhopper.
Mudhopper.
Oh no.
Oh, no,
Crickets
I
don't like
want-
to jump.
I wanted to call it the Hyundai.
I think it's
The
probably
The
Hyundai.
Hyundai.
Nick,
That's what I
Cricket's-
wanted to
Cricket's
call it.
name was
probably fill up the drive.
originally Cricket was supposed
Mind
to be
blown.
a,
Hyundai?
Hyundai,
CRV.
holy
Hyundai.
shit. Holy shit.
Fun fact, Mud Cricket, originally Mud Cricket was supposed to be a CRV. And then we got the Hyundai and we were like, Mud Cricket name doesn't fit. It was supposed to be the Hoopty Hyundai.
You see, if they switch the letters around.
But then I
Hyundai-
got drunk and
You
bought
can
lime
make-
green spray
yeah,
paint,
Hyundai.
so it became the Mud Cricket again.
Good thing you got.
I painted half the car and then I sent it off of a MX jump and blew the entire rear suspension clean on.
I might even change the name
Well,
of my Facebook
One
page
week,
to Hyundai.
1 week before the Fall Gambler.
I remember that.
I did pretty good.
It doesn't like to jump.
I've jumped it 3 times now, and every time it ends really horribly.
Yeah, because she does. Cricket doesn't like to jump.
I miss my Subaru. That thing would just handle anything
Nor
you
does it
threw
like
it
to
at.
swim. Crickets don't like to swim.
Yeah, crickets don't like to swim either.
No.
Oh, stop.
I'm just saying, no more pools for
She
you.
can jump from iceberg to iceberg.
Well, that was
Well,
Nick,
she
you
did
should just
pretty
send your
well
Subaru.
that was
there, but
impressive.
You
I
should
also
just
said
you
don't
just
do it
swap
there.
and send the Subaru.
Do it. Lift it.
Yeah, dude, send
Yep.
the Subaru.
Well, if Isaiah gave me the other 3 struts from Super Poo, then
Ah,
that might have happened.
Damn it,
I'll go
Isaiah!
get you some.
Damn you!
Damn it, Isaiah. True, I could.
What's wrong with the
I gotta
Subaru?
get. I think it needs a cylinder head. Yeah.
2.2. For the win.
2.5. Well, 2.5 had 2.2 block.
What you need to do? Take 2.5, de-stroke it to a 2.3.
Yeah.
That's
I saw,
that was
I
my
saw an
plan.
Australian record
Yes.
turn 10,000 RPMs.
Mhm.
Do it.
Dun,
On another block. Not this
Send
one.
it. You can be the next person who ratchet strap a log to their back strut.
Yeah.
You'd
I
do
need a
it.
Forester
I
for
know
that.
you would do it.
I would
You know,
do that.
immediately I figured that you were the one that came up with the idea. Because I was like, oh, all the wood on his car, he probably thought about it.
Nope.
Nope.
He's
No,
just got a
that
pallet.
was- Yeah.
Well, no,
The hell-
isn't your back bumper wood? It was. Right?
The back bumper was wood.
Yeah.
I'm just
And then-
saying.
I got rear-ended by Kevin's tree.
Real effective.
And then
You're like,
that
wood
was-
is not my friend.
no.
It's not my
However, if it wasn't a wood 2x4, if the actual bumper beam or something, metal that wouldn't have snapped in half,
It would have
like
totaled
it
the
would,
car.
yeah, it would have completely wrapped the whole rear
It
end
would
around.
have, yeah,
Yeah.
But
tacoed
like-
from the rear.
And then the Volvo would have never been known about.
We call them crumple
it
zones.
could have ended very differently.
Yeah.
But
So
it
you
was
got lucky on
definitely.
that.
I did. I got so lucky on that. It was if it was a hair over to the right, it would have hit the frame rail, and then the whole car would have been folded. But it was just right in between the frame rails and the whole sheet metal that holds the spare tire in the trunk.
Ooh,
That recessed bit, all of that took the impact along with the
rough.
trunk lid.
I gotta
So,
say,
that's-
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
The Volvo.
It's legendary. It's legendary.
The Volvo, the Golf, Nick Fargnoli's Golf,
Cannoli.
Nick Cannoli's Golf, and the Cobb. Those were my 3 favorite cars of every gambler we've ever
The
been
Coupe
to.
2.0.
No! What about Jeepelope?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, Jeepelope.
I love
Stop it.
Jeepelope. I
No,
love
Jeepelope
Jeepelope.
was amazing.
Yeah.
Jeepelope was a fucking
How is
trooper.
it? How is this even a podcast without Jeepelope being
Yeah.
mentioned at least once?
Jeepelope
I mean, let me
was-
just be honest.
R.I.P.
here.
mentioned the Jeep
R.I.P.
Yep.
Jeepelope.
And
Yeah.
we will drop for as a for his first event, the Super Poo.
Yeah, that was her favorite one to watch.
That
for the
car
spring,
was
yes.
just if it hadn't
was-
ripped,
yeah.
that
It
would have
was
been
the-
the car
I
to
was
beat
torn.
for the weekend.
Between Jeepelope and Super Poo.
That car was
Well, the
amazing.
Subaru Jeepelope. Yeah.
Yeah, I was torn
Jeeperoo.
between the both of
Yeah,
them
the
because I
Jeeperoo.
mean, let's be honest.
Fuck it bucket. That's
Yeah.
the name of
The
it.
Fuck It Bucket, yeah, the
The
Fuck
Fuck
It
It
Bucket.
Bucket
That's
was
I was
amazing
looking
to
for
see
that
on
all
the
weekend,
track.
all
Did
night,
we
but I
even
couldn't
talk
remember.
about the races?
Yeah,
Did
we
that
did
even
for a
happen?
minute.
Yeah,
He was-
briefly.
All right, so let me just say, the Fuck It Bucket during the races.
Until he smoked his
real.
clutch.
That
was
was
fast
It
as
was
shit.
fast.
It's fast as shit.
Like
That was the fastest half Jeep, half Subaru
What?
I've
Yeah,
ever seen.
That was the
What?
The
fast-
Jeeperoo.
with Medusa on the front end of it,
Yeah.
her hair blowing in the breeze. Bitch, please.
That
That
is
was
what
amazing.
took the time machine.
You're a
Volvo
poet and
down.
you don't even know it, bitch. Please,
We
your
were
hair
close,
was
we
blowing
were
in
close
the
to the
breeze.
win there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
he
was.
took us
I
out.
am. Method Man ain't got shit
Jason
on
and I
me.
were watching it from. Jason and I were watching it from the top of the sand dunes, and it was just the two of them are so close, going.
It was great.
Yeah,
I
you
loved
guys
it.
Listen.
posted a video of it. Jason did. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason did. That was
Wait,
an
was
awesome
the race what killed?
The fucking bucket.
Yeah.
Did it really?
Because that's what killed the clutch on it.
Oh,
I think he limped it around a little bit after.
Well, the sand dunes didn't help.
Yeah.
The sand dunes didn't help anybody.
No.
You said
No.
fuck it to the
Oh,
bucket
God.
and you just send it in the sand dunes? People liked that car. Sorry.
They were definitely the
She
death
gets
of a
so
lot.
mad when other people
Like-
get rid of their gambler cars. She's like, "No, that's not fair." And I'm like, "No one. It's not your car. Like your car." She's like, "No, that's not happening." I'm like, "Oh, it's happening. Like it.
Yeah.
He's getting rid of it." And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "You message him and tell him no then."
Every day after June 1st, I was like.
I was
"Is today gonna be the
heartbroken when
day?"
I saw that thing without the snorkel
Yeah.
and the
that broke my
rack and
heart.
all that
I
on
didn't
it. It
look.
was terrible.
Dude, I love.
I didn't even look because I was going to send you an angry message and I'm not about that life. I was just like, whatever.
You thought
Like,
about that
I'm
life,
I'm
but
like,
you're
you
not
do
about
you,
it.
boo-boo. Whatever you want to do, whatever, okay, that's fine, but I'm just saying.
That Volvo,
It-
that
it's-
Volvo, that Volvo lives on in
It
spirit.
was
I will
heartbreaking
never.
for you.
She was begging to be put down.
Yeah. I'll never forget that car.
I'll never forget that car either.
No.
That was the fastest piece of shit I've ever driven.
Oh God.
That thing impressed me every fucking day.
I rode shotgun
She
in
did-
that thing for like 100 miles, and it was just
Do
like,
you still have a smoke here?
That thing's earned a place in my heart.
Did it go to the scrapyard yet?
Not yet.
Oh no.
Not yet. No, it's still
You
around.
you need to pay homage to it.
It's still around. It's still
Keep the
sitting in
hood?
my mom's driveway. I'm keeping the hood.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't get rid of the hood. I paid $35 for that sticker. I can't get rid of it.
I can't get rid of that dude.
hood up.
That's another
Oh, yeah.
reason why I won't let him ruin Cricket. Listen, there's so many stickers and so many memories all over Cricket.
What you could do when you finally have
No,
to say
don't you
goodbye to
dare.
Cricket.
Don't you
Do what he
dare.
did and cut him off, and then
It's-
put him on your
How
new
dare
We
hood.
had this
It was-
discussion
Do
up
some
here.
cut and paste thing like
Skin
Jeep Girl.
Cricket, skin a side of Cricket, but like make
I
it so that
can't.
this
I
way
don't
you
even
can
hear it.
hang up the side on the wall.
I don't
Well,
know
with
your-
our idea that you personally are
Listen,
the only
it's
person
like when
that
you
knows
catch
about.
the biggest fish of your life. What do you want to do? You want to mount it. I'm gonna keep fucking Cricket in my backyard until my neighbors fucking hate me. I don't care. That bitch can rot, grow
I mean-
into trees. I'll plant seeds in the fucking seats. I don't care.
You could, yeah,
From
you
all the
could turn it
cars,
into
you already
a
said you guys
planter.
have your neighbors already hate you guys. I don't know if
They
you're
already
going to
it's
mount
alright.
that.
My landlord fucking hates me.
You could turn
hates
Cricket
me.
into a barbecue
She's like,
cooker.
But dude, no, it's not even my landlord.
No,
it's my landlord's
You already
mom.
know the idea with Mud Cricket. Mud
There you
Cricket
go.
does
Yeah.
have a place to live on
Yeah.
until
Mud Cricket Chicken Barbecue.
Yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
frames get a hold of her and snap in half. They might cause a problem,
True.
but
Weld that
I'm
skid
gonna
plate
put
back
her
into
out-
place and then
I'm
fill it with
gonna put her out the
charcoal.
right
the
Viking funeral.
Yes,
hack cart.
most definitely.
Oh yeah.
If
Oh,
I
we're
can't,
just
if I
gonna
can't get
burn
it
the
running, I'm
fuck
just
out of
literally
her.
gonna hack cart.
Just send her out at sea.
I know I just said
Or
that.
down the street on fire.
That's
Whatever
so
happens
Spoiler
first.
alert. Spoiler alert.
So illegal. I didn't
Mud
say
Cricket
that.
doesn't run.
DEC officers.
I'm still
everybody
trying
else.
very hard.
I'm not doing that
Yet.
We are
One
still.
step at a time.
What?
ever.
One step at a time.
Yeah, we're still debating about the whole 355 speed swap. So
Are we?
with the car around the
Are
corner
we
from our
debating?
house. The black car around the corner from the house.
Is that still for sale?
Like I was saying earlier, I love this couples play they have because
Yeah.
they just got this banter back and forth like, no you're not, yes I am, no you're not, yes I am, anything you can
She
do I can
literally
do better,
doesn't want me to do
anything you
anything
can do
other
better
than like swaying away from me. the sole. She literally told me
You
on the
two-
way up.
You two are literally perfect for each other though, because it's like that.
Aw,
it's like that
aw,
old couple
aw.
bickering, but you two like.
Argue about a gambler card.
Yeah, but
Literally
but
the
it's
only thing we
like
argue
good. It's
about.
like good arguing.
It's
Well,
not
You're
like
like,
I was saying,
why are
she's
you like you
bringing
can't
home
do this?
another
You're like
shit
pathetic.
box.
Oh no,
Dude.
she already knows if a car shows up, she's like, oh god damn it, when's it leaving?
we took an
And I'm like,
intermission
I don't
earlier
know.
and I was like, Talon, she peed in the bucket.
Yo, we
Bury
had-
that check.
All right, listen, I'm gonna give her super props. We had a dump truck show up in our front yard that was cut up in like 6 pieces and just like dropped off in the front yard, and she's like, this is a bit much. And I was like, I'm gonna get rid of it as fast as I can, I promise. But like, it is a whole dump truck. It's cut into 6 pieces, but I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. But she's on the page that Mud
Whatever
Cricket
you want to do. Whatever
Mud
makes
Cricket
you
is
happy.
going to stay pure. And I'm on the page that if Mud Cricket's not pure by August and running right, she's going to be...
No, let's be honest here. Whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy, but just don't fuck with my car. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
there we go.
there it is.
We have 3 options for it, so...
Do we? No, we have one option. You fix it, make it run. Thank you.
Oof.
Oh.
Yikes.
I'll buy the parts. I'll give you
That's
full
like-
support.
Laid down the rules. You now have a new project.
I
Yep.
guess Mud Cricket's running.
Do it or
Y'all
die.
Y'all see us in whatever, the fall.
Yeah,
September, October, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
it'll be there.
Blood, sweat, and tears. Blood, sweat, and beers.
Blood,
Yeah,
sweat,
for real.
beers, and
Indeed.
banter.
And what?
Blood, sweat, beers, and banter.
I'll get to it.
So I think the hard drive's about full.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
by
yeah.
far the
Yeah.
longest
This is
podcast
the longest
we've
one,
built
yeah.
up so far,
Let's
so...
end it on me being a fucking complete and total bitch.
Or
Well, that works.
Yeah, there you go.
And this
Or
also
we
this
could-
was also the first
Apparently,
first one-
we have the final verdict. Mud Cricket will be alive somehow, some way.
first night we had a guest appearance, Nick.
Yeah.
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 Thanks
sure.
to Nick for being the guest
Yeah.
appearance
Nice.
tonight.
Guest appearance.
Yep.
At least
Out of
it's
all
not,
the guests we can have.
At least it's not freezing cold out this time.
Yeah.
It's actually
Oh,
Sweating our
you're
balls
wearing
off.
Yeah,
Hawaii.
the last one
Right,
was
it's-
terrible. It was
yeah,
like
I
15
know.
degrees. It sucked so
I was
bad.
like, I feel like wearing this today.
You're like, I'm feeling salmon pants and
Mhm.
a
A
nice
Hawaiian shirt. But the pants go well with the flowers on the shirt.
Yeah,
And like I
was
said, I
Oh,
have that
yeah.
Hawaiian shirt in my personal
that's my
closet.
dad's
So
living room color.
Today.
That's my dad's living room color.
I was going for
Balls.
I was going for something tropical. This could also be a hint to another gambler theme that I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Oh,
I think I told you about this.
We're getting a coconut. We're splitting it. You're making a coconut bra.
I'm thinking
He's wearing it.
I'm thinking Florida.
Florida
thinking-
man? Crazy Florida man?
Florida
Yes.
Florida
we've discussed
retirement
this.
package.
Yes, I've talked to you
Florida
about this.
retirement package.
Sebring.
Yeah,
AstroTurf.
Chrysler Sebring convertible with
Snowbird.
fake grass on the hood and the trunk. I'm
Yes.
thinking like a
Like the
putt
Saab.
like a golf hole that we can just like knock a ball into or something on the hood,
Yes.
and the trunk lid with like pink flamingos like everywhere around like
We
around
spoke
the
about
cockpit.
that.
as a
area.
general
Yeah.
contractor,
This is the
electrician,
Gary's parking
plumber, we
lot.
call them
Yeah.
snowbirds.
Replace
You
the,
will call your
replace the
car
folding
a
top with an
snowbird.
umbrella.
Yes.
That sounds
Yes.
like a
Oh my
great
God. Yes.
I will
Can
always
we
support
please?
this idea
I'm
if there's
so
a
down.
rascal on the back.
A rascal?
Yes. The
It's a
carts.
retirement home.
Mobility
vehicle.
cart?
Oh
Yes.
my
Oh my
god!
Yeah.
Yes!
We gotta put a trailer
Can I
hitch
put
on
mud
it
tires on it?
with a little fucking
Like the basket,
It's
the
a
trailer
running
hitch with the
rascal with mud
basket
tires.
on it.
We'll lift it up.
That'll
Every
be
time
the
you get to a
recovery
death
vehicle.
track, you get someone out to ride it.
Yes.
Yes.
That confirmed. Let's
I
do
would,
it.
I would run that through
She
the
can
mud
drive
pits
truck
for
and
you,
I'm driving
Nick.
Don't hurt yourself.
We can do this.
Yeah, we can do this.
We can do this.
This sounds
Can I
great.
wrap you in bubble wrap?
No, I love it.
All
So if
right.
anyone has a Chrysler Sebring convertible that they would like to donate, please contact me.
Like we said earlier, give
Or
it to him for
Hyundai
free.
Miata. Mazda Miata.
Mazda.
Hyundai Miata.
Or a Miata. Yeah,
Yeah.
Miata would work too.
No, or a Hyundai Elantra.
And if it's not a convertible, we can make it one.
Yes.
Yes, we don't care if it's a convertible. We'll cut it off.
Yeah, it doesn't matter actually.
Just a Sebring.
And
Yeah. Cut.